Well, Jaime Hallgrimsson was asked yesterday, realistically, what chance do Ireland have of beating England here today? And he said a good one. He was still trying to be upbeat. What chance do you give Ireland? A country, of course, that you represented them 36 times.
Yeah, listen, England are favourites. I've said England have got so many talented individuals. What Ireland have to do, Deno, is stay in the game.
Well, we are underway, and Ireland are playing from right to left as we look. And straight away, a direct ball was aimed out towards Nathan Collins, who'd made his forward on this left-hand side, as Livramento gets the throw, and then Kyle Walker will play it back to Jordan Pickford in a luminous all-orange goalkeeping outfit away towards our left, standing out brightly on such a dull evening.
What I have noticed, then, though, is that Nate Collins is going to play just in front of the back three. They are going to play a back three. Collins is going to play in midfield. I've never really seen him play there. So, and he's captaining the side today, but look, he's playing in the midfield three with Cullen and Malumbu.
It's like a 4-1-4-1, isn't it, with Collins, like you say, coming out of the centre-back position, McGuinness and Scales as two centre-backs, and he's going to sit right in front of them with four players in front of him. And I think that, you know, obviously the feeling of the manager that that's the best defensive shape for Ireland in this game.
Half-time in the rugby, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, Australia started well, 3 tries in 10 minutes to start, which shocked Wales into action. Aaron Wainwright scored Wales' only try, and the points that followed came from Gareth Anscombe's boot. Wales 13, Australia 19 at half-time.
Thanks, Molly. Gahey across to Kyle Walker. Looks for the run of Madueke with a flat ball forward. Madueke, as he's running, and he knows it's going away from him, and it'll kick clear on this greasy surface, actually turn back and put up the thumb from his left hand, because it was the right idea from Kyle Walker. Because I guess if you are playing with 3 central defenders, that the space is round the back of the wing backs.
Yeah, but I mean, I think O'Dowda is more playing in that left full-back position. So, you know, he's going to have to be tuned in today, O'Dowda. I mean, Madueke's such a live wire, isn't he? He's absolutely loving playing for England on this stage. He's really soaking it up, and I think O'Dowda really has to be tuned in. That kind of movement from Madueke is hard to mark. He's got to have a really sharp game mentally, O'Dowda, and not lose concentration.
2 assists already in his opening 4 caps for Noni Madueke. There's an air of unpredictability about his play as well. He's energetic, and he certainly had a fine game in Athens, as did this man here, Curtis Jones, the Liverpool midfielder. As England out towards Gordon over on that far side, little touch by Jones, ball then played forward by Bellingham to Anthony Gordon. And the thing is as well, with Anthony Gordon, Lewis Hall and Tino Livramento all starting for England today, that the last time that Newcastle United had 3 players starting for England was back in April 1997 against Georgia. Rob Lee, Alan Shearer and David Batty. So also I think it's testament to the work that Eddie Howe is doing at St James's Park. You know, that Livramento and particularly Lewis Hall, which is, as Matt Upson was talking about in the build-up to the game, left back has been a real problem area, as Gordon, one of that Newcastle United trio, is closed down by Eberseli, passes the ball back, bypasses Gahey, who just actually ushers Walker to come forward. He's right of the centre circle, 3 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live. Walker waits, Cullen looks to go and close him down. Harry Kane has dropped deep, little touch from Gallagher. They're going to have to be compact, and they're going to have to be organised, Ireland, Clinton. Yeah,
they will. You can see, and England have to be patient. You can see they're staying in their groups and that. They're not coming out. They're just leaving Evan Ferguson up there. And it is like as Matt said, a 4-1-4-1. So it is like that. But England have to keep moving the ball quicker and out wide. When they're so compact in the midfield, you have to move it quick, 1 and 2 toucher, and get it to the wingers Madueke and Anthony Gordon.
Well, as John Murray said to Lee Carsley yesterday, you would expect Greece to beat Finland in Helsinki in the other game in B2, so therefore England do have to win this game to secure promotion back to the top of the elite league in the Nations League competition. And Ireland are going to try and be awkward and obdurate opponents, as here is Cullen, but he's given the ball away to Madueke. Madueke darts in towards the penalty area. Madueke looks for the shooting opportunity, fires it low, comes out towards the edge of the area, hit back in by Curtis Jones, and takes a deflection, and behind it goes for a corner kick.
Well, just bright spark. Madueke seizes the opportunity, drives at the Irish defenders in the box, one way then the other, fires the ball across, ricochets out to the edge, and there's Jones with the strike. I don't know who he hit. I think it was Scales actually coming out from the centre-back position, but he did well, because that looked like it was going to be on target, and it was travelling the ball. It flies out for a corner, but an early scare for Ireland.
With an earlier save from Quevin Kelleher with an outstretched leg to keep out that Madueke effort on the right-hand side. So England playing from left to right as we look. Have a corner on this near side, the right. Madueke takes it, it's left-footed, and looking to meet it was Kyle Walker. And he attacked it with real purpose, about, 8 yards out?
Yeah, that's a chance. It's a great ball in from Madueke, and he just gets the run on Jason Malumbi, and it's a good header. It's a really good header. And I think he gets too much on it, and that's why it goes over the bar.
We've talked about an England debutant in Tino Livramento. Mark McGuinness, who only joined Luton in the summer from Cardiff. He's making his Ireland debut tonight. And John McGuinness is his father, who actually represented England at bowls in the Commonwealth Games in 2014. And indeed, his other son, Tom, plays lawn bowls for England. So John McGuinness has got one son now representing England and another one representing Ireland, albeit in different sports.
Yeah, very, very different sports. I don't think I'll be good at bowls. I think Matt might be good at a bit of bowls. He can control it.
They'd have to keep you quiet on the green first of all, Clinton.
Yeah, and I'll be struggling at that then.
6 minutes in, Clinton Morrison and Matt Upson.
It's not 10-pin bowling.
Two former
I take it it's
Birmingham
lawn bowls.
players
lawn
are
bowls
with us here in the commentary box. Lawn bowls, yes.
Yeah. But far more civilised.
Yeah.
No good for Clinton.
No. There'll be no strikes for him. Ball stroked out towards that far side. Played back in by Jones. Bellingham now gets on the ball. It was looking that McGuinness was actually tracking him, and cleared away on that far side by O'Shea. Picked up by Jones, strokes it now to Walker. Forward position outside the centre circle, lifts the ball up towards Harry Kane. Back header away by McGuinness. He's then volleyed further away by O'Shea for Ireland inside his penalty area. Nice touch there by Lewis Hall. Lovely cushion control off the top of his left boot. Eberseli picks it up now and tries to wriggle his way clear, as we'll go to Malaga in the tennis and Russell Fuller.
Resistance from Rebecca Marino in the early stages of this second set. 2 games all. Emma Raducanu has saved 3 break points, but she won the first set of this quarter-final by 6 games to love.
Thanks, Russell. 7 minutes played here in this Nations League game, 0-0 at Wembley Stadium between Ireland and England. England have won the last 2 meetings. England have never won 3 in a row against Ireland. Lee Carsley will be hoping that he can finish off his interim spell as how he started it in Dublin, as Gordon burst into the penalty area left-hand side. Collins, it was the player, the Ireland captain, who came across and sensed the danger.
Yeah, it's clever from Jude Bellingham. He spotted the centre of that pitch is so congested with Collins sat in there. He's trying to kill the space for Jude Bellingham, so he popped up on the left-hand side in that position just off of Anthony Gordon. Nobody's gone with him, manoeuvres it, slips it back into Gordon. It's going to need something a little bit clever like that to break this Irish system down. I think they're just trying to fill that middle of the park, not allow any space for England's number 10, so he's going to have to look for it elsewhere.
Gordon then to take the corner kick on that far side, the England left, in front of the strong travelling support. The referee, who is a Belgian referee, is Eric Lombrechts, has noticed, eagle-eyed, that the ball wasn't necessarily in the quadrant, so he jogs over and tells it has to be adjusted and then readjusted, not once but twice.
It's a stickler like Lee Carsley.
In it comes now from the corner kick. The Irish supporters enjoyed that it didn't beat the first man. Back towards Gordon. This time doesn't deliver the cross. Left corner of the area, now delivers it. And Quevin Kelleher, who has very fond memories of Wembley Stadium during his Liverpool career, to the League Cup earlier this year and also 2 years ago, gathers it in safely, all in blue. And in fact, Ireland are blessed to have such a young quality goalkeeper.
He's top. He's one of the best around. They say he's the best number 2, but he'll be a number 1 very soon. He might have to move from Liverpool to get that, but I think he's been excellent while Alisson's been injured. He made a brilliant man of the match for Ireland against Finland in midweek. Midweek, brilliant penalty save. So he's an outstanding goalie, and Ireland are very fortunate to have him.
Yeah. Here is Gahey. Ball again flat, looking for the run of Bellingham, headed away by Scales, the Celtic defender. O'Dowda was quickly being closed down by Madueke. It goes out for an Ireland throw on this near side the left. 10 minutes played, still goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Still no goals between Finland and Greece, as O'Dowda, the Cardiff City midfielder just bides his time to take the throw, and he's going to have to go long, which he does. It's a long looping throw over the head of Ferguson, picked up by Jones, who can't keep the ball in play, and Ireland have another throw almost on the halfway line.
It's hard to see how Ireland are going to get hold of the ball and really get up the pitch so far in this game when they've barely got Ferguson into the game. I'm not sure if he's touched it maybe once or twice, but it's so hard for them to get sustained possession. England very much on the front foot, very confident, not allowing them any space. They've got to try and get hold of the ball and stretch the pitch a little bit at some point.
O'Dowda with the throw, headed forward then by Josh Cullen. Ferguson lays it back. Cullen quickly tries to get it out towards the left, but the interception by Madueke. He's got Bellingham going ahead of him on the right-hand side. The return ball to Madueke, and all of a sudden England look threatening. Madueke enters the penalty area right-hand side, slows it down, pulls it back, edge of the area, laid off by Gallagher. Bellingham looks for a shooting opportunity onto his right foot, strikes the body of Cullen. Harry Kane is there. Bellingham on the stretch keeps it alive as he plays the ball back to Livramento for England. That was a promising break with real pace down the right-hand side as England midway through the Ireland half, 11 minutes in, 0-0. And now Hall, the Newcastle United player, and Ireland have every green shirt back behind the ball. There was just a moment that they could have possibly, with Ireland having so many green shirts downfield and trying to get back, they just tried to take advantage of that and they couldn't. It was a good run, good move.
Yeah, it was, and that's what they want. They want Ireland to have possession and then lose the ball.
Ferguson picks it up midway through his own half, skips away from one challenge, but it's trying to get those green shirts down the pitch as Gallagher robs Smodic of the ball. Gallagher with a cut back into the area. Madueke just couldn't take it with him. Cullen did ever so well, but Ireland are stretched. They've given the ball away again. Bellingham faced by Scales, right-hand side of the penalty area. Scales closes him down, and England get a corner kick.
Well, it's twice there. Smodic really should have done better. He gave it away initially, then got involved with a pass that was coming out wide and stopped it, and England turned over possession again right on the edge of the Irish 18-yard box.
12 minutes in then here on 5 Live, still 0-0. Madueke, they're getting a lot of joy on the right-hand side at the moment, yet to really see England as an attacking sense on that far side, the left. It's on this near side, in front of that array of St George's flags that have been draped over the front there as Madueke takes it, goes deep, Walker climbs, his header comes back out to this near side, and it's off target, and it will be a goal kick to Ireland.
It was a chance, wasn't it? I thought it was a really good chance. He just slightly mistimed that, Kyle Walker. Ghosted into the back of the box. Great ball in from Madueke. Lovely height, nice flight. Had plenty of time to judge it. Just got the contact all wrong. Couldn't get it towards the goal, and it just harmlessly went really wide. But he arrives free there, Kyle Walker, and he just gets a little bit advance of the ball. I mean, the Irish have got a lot of players in that 18-yard box, but nobody really dealing with the ball on set plays.
He's only scored one goal in his previous 92 appearances for England. It's been a number of years since he actually scored for Manchester City as well, as the ball goes back to Jordan Pickford. Ireland with Malumbi in the midfield. His header goes astray. Cullen will tidy up though, right of the centre circle, and then back to McGuinness, who plays it across to Scales. He's actually got a look of Quaveen Kelleher as Liam Scales, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got the same barnet, hasn't he? But I think Kelleher's a bit better than his. He's had it trimmed up, and his is a bit too long and messy at the moment.
Walker just gets in front of Ferguson as Ireland get the ball out to Sami Smodic, the Ipswich Town player. Livramento tries to hold him up, comes on the inside, passes the ball then to Malumbi, who takes over. Cullen is there as well. Back it goes then to Scales, and all of a sudden Ireland, probably for the first time in this game, 14 minutes in and still goalless, have got every outfield player in the England half now, as Lee Carsley patrols that technical area here at Wembley Stadium. 40 caps for himself when he was a Republic of Ireland midfielder back in his playing days, and a former roommate of Clinton Morrison. And then at all that, they keep the ball, but then they go back to Kelleher in the half away towards our right.
But at least it's possession then, Owen. It's a breather, and they can get their shape, and they can start to get into position to maybe build an attack. They're moving the ball around nicely at the moment.
Cullen then gives it away, bounces off Madueke. Ferguson running back towards the halfway line though, gets it back for Ireland. Here is the Brighton striker, who's now going to switch play out to Festy Emerselli, the Watford player who's on a season-long loan from Udinese. Had that time at Derby County as well, for what is only his 7th cap for Ireland, as the Belgian referee has given a free kick, and it's going to be a talking to the Ireland captain, Nathan Collins.
You see what it is, then. When I look at Ireland, when they're in possession, they're not comfortable in possession. You look at Malumbi and Cullen, they're giving the ball away too often in midfield. At international level, Matt will tell you, you give the ball back, you might not touch it again for 3 or 4 minutes. You're going to be under pressure. So that spell where they went back to the goalie, sometimes you need that, because you kind of come under too much pressure, especially at international level.
Here is Gallagher, gets it back from the debutant Livramento, just over the halfway line. Gehi now in the centre circle, over the halfway line. He will just gently run forward. Curtis Jones touches the ball back to Gehi. Walker, Livramento's gone into an inverted role. He's actually continued that forward run, and both he and Madueke go for the same ball. Livramento looks for Madueke on the inside of him. Smodic tries to turn, gets caught in possession again. Here is Madueke. Gallagher, little ball in field towards Livramento, off the chest. Last touch though off Livramento, and that will be a goal kick. But Smodic now has been caught just a couple of times in possession in dangerous areas.
He needs to just stay up. I don't know what he's trying to do. Cruyff turns on the edge. Matt, as a defender, if a centre forward's doing that, you must be going mad.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
If you dropped back and did that, you'd get hammered.
Exactly.
You would,
simple as. I'd be hammering if I was out there.
It's almost, I think it's difficult because he's there dropping so deep that he's in an area of the pitch where he's not used to being. He's used to being high or wider, and then you can get away with it a bit more. On the edge of your own box, you've got to be 100% certain when you receive that ball, what's your option, and is it safe? And I think 2 or 3 times now he's come into Smodic and he's trying to a Cruyff or to twist around, and it's just not. And Gallagher, I think, is brilliant at ratting the ball down like that. I mean, that's a real quality of Conor Gallagher. He gets after people, he applies pressure, and he's turned it over twice against Smodic already.
Here is Livramento, goes back to Walker, and then it's with Hall, the England left back, who finds his club teammate Gordon on that far side, the left, midway through the Ireland half. Curtis Jones now in a central area. England are being patient and comfortable in possession. Ireland have got every green shirt back behind the ball. Bellingham now in this deep area. Curtis Jones will take over. Passes the ball once again out towards Hall. Gordon has just gone a little bit in field there as the Irish supporters find their voices over on that far side. England just waiting, looking for that one moment of quality to prise open this Irish defence as Bellingham tries to turn. Ireland, though, are being stubborn at the moment. Gehi now plays a short forward ball to Gallagher, gives it back to the central defender. Hall, England passing the ball around quickly, though. As Bellingham comes forward, Ireland will get a throw, and we'll check in on the rugby with Molly Stevens.
Well, Australia have had a player sent to the sin bin, Samu Karevi, for a high tackle on Jack Morgan. It's under bunker review, Ian, so could well turn into a red. At Wales with the ball at the moment in Australia's 22. It's Wales 13, Australia 19, second half just underway.
And we've been playing for 18 minutes. We'll be on air till about 7:30. We'll try and bring you as much live reaction as we can here from Wembley, and then it's 606 08085 909 693 to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. As here is Gallagher of Atletico Madrid. Livramento is quite high up on this near side, the right. Madueke, Gallagher, Livramento just in from the touchline. O'Dowda in front of him. Smodic goes towards Gallagher, passes the ball forward of the centre circle for Gehi, and then that was a clearance by Mark McGuinness, the Irish central defender. His ball has been picked up by Hall. Now Livramento. This is with Madueke. Livramento makes the run on the outside of him, and Smodic puts the ball out of play for a throw.
You mentioned earlier, Dan, about the tempo of the game and the speed of England's passing. It has to be good. I mean, they're driving it pretty well at the moment. They're moving the ball quickly, but Collins is dropping into the back three, actually. The moment England have sustained possession, he drops between the two centre-backs, and then they go into a 5, which pushes Scales out wide, and then you've got O'Dowda, who's in that wing-back position, just to double it up. So, I mean, it's not easy breaking down teams when they're like this. Regardless of the gulf in individual level, they're going to be a difficult team to break down today, Ireland.
Patience very much the key word, as Livramento actually invites the challenge from O'Dowda, and it cannons back off the advertising hoardings that he'll collect and take the throw on this right-hand side, level with the area. Gallagher in field, hardly mentioned the name of Harry Kane. He did get the ball but was quickly challenged by Jason Malumbi. Here is Bellingham, edge of the area, runs into the box, into that inside left channel, comes out to the box towards Gordon, runs away from the penalty area, does Gordon. Eberseli goes towards him, holds off the challenge, forward ball to Madueke, he's gone central, and then all of a sudden providing the width on this near side is Livramento, level with the area, links up now with Madueke. Cullen is in front of him, Harry Kane comes out of the box with his back to goal. 20 minutes played and still 0-0. Madueke passes the ball behind the referee, Hall hits it early, Kane is there, just couldn't control it.
That's a good chance, that is. I'm going to see the replay on that. It's good patient build-up play from England there.
Eberseli now with a counter-attack. Clinton said he's got the pace, he's got the strength as well to hold off Gordon. Gallagher now comes across towards him, and on that diagonal run, Eberseli has done well, edge of the area, and then was he fouled by Livramento? The referee had a good view of it and says no. And all of a sudden the Irish shirts need to get back now as Harry Kane runs forward. But there was Nathan Collins just easily dealing with the threat of the England captain and back towards his goalkeeper Callagher.
I think Eberseli needs to have a breather, doesn't he? That was one of the longest marauding runs I've ever seen, from the right-hand side all the way across to the left wing, and then had to cut back inside. I mean, I couldn't really see if it was a foul. I mean, there might have been a leg dangling in there, but obviously not enough. The referee was right on top of it, but he did show his pace there and a little bit of strength as well.
Yeah, he did it, and that's what he's got, Deno, but then he has to slow down and find a pass, because there, that's where you have to give you a breather, don't you? You can't just run into bodies.
He just needed to offload it at some point, but he just couldn't quite find that pass. But it is hard for Ireland because they're sat in such a defensive position.
Well, Ferguson has been asked to go and chase a long ball from the back. He was in a bit of a foot race there with Mark Gahey, and the referee has said it's going to be a goal kick, as the two of them both went to ground on that right-hand side of the penalty area.
That was great from Evan Ferguson. He's going to have to do a lot of that this evening. Work that channel. He didn't give that ball up. He pushed Mark Gahey right to the end. Gahey had his arm across him, but Ferguson was having none of it, and I actually don't think he does too much wrong in that. I think that probably should be a corner. Did the referee give a free kick or a goal kick? He gave a goal kick, but it looked like the final touch may have come off Mark Gahey there.
So, England 0, the Republic of Ireland 0. We're midway through the first half here on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. And to take you through to half-time, here's our correspondent John Murray.
Well, the atmosphere is good, isn't it? And this is a very, very disciplined performance from the Republic of Ireland, who are, well, they've demonstrated in the first quarter of the match. They're saying to England, you're going to have to work very, very hard to find a way through us. But England in the white shirts with the blue trim, long pass forward, it's over the top of Madueke in the penalty area, still going Madueke on, then he took a heavy touch, and it bounces through and behind for a goal kick. That was unlike him, what we've seen of him so far in an England shirt, but he's had nothing like the space that he had in Athens the other night.
No, it's tight, isn't it? And he's so high octane. It's almost like he's hyped, and just that there, he just needed to go a little bit cold, Clinton, didn't he? Just relax, you know, you're in that position, just relax a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like he's still playing at 100 miles an hour, isn't he, when he gets that ball.
He is quick.
Yeah, he is quick, but then slow down when you have a touch. But he looks the threat, he looks the most likely. Gordon's been quiet on that left-hand side. Yeah,
his first start for England, Madueke, here at Wembley, after making his first start anywhere for England on Thursday night. It is his 5th cap this. He's been one of the bright sparks for England under Lee Carsley, who's now given 7 players their debuts, with Livramento, who we've seen pushing very far forward up the right-hand side, the Newcastle defender. Well, he can play left back, he can play midfield, right back on his debut. His teammate, his clubmate, Lewis Hall, over on the other side, and another Newcastle player, Anthony Gordon, chasing down into the full-back area, but concedes a free kick. And Ireland have that in their own right-back area. So it's England 0, Republic of Ireland 0, and it is still Finland 0, Greece 0 in the other match in this group. So with these scorelines, it would be England finishing top of the group. From London back to Spain and the Billie Jean King Cup finals, and Russell Fuller.
Different story in this second set, John, after Emma Raducanu took the first set 6-love against Rebecca Marino. She's about to try and fight off a 4th break point against her. 4-3 Marino on serve, second set.
And as we so often do, there is a choice of listening at the moment. 5 Live for England 0, Republic of Ireland 0, and the Autumn International in Cardiff is on Sports Extra right now via digital radio or via BBC Sounds. Another long ball forward from England, but Quiveen Kelleher will just allow that to run through for a goal kick. And you can listen to our commentaries. If you've just arrived home, you can carry on listening to the commentary via your smart speaker if you give it the instruction, play Radio 5 Live. Erling Haaland scored for Norway. They're winning 1-0 against Kazakhstan. It's in that group, in B3, Austria and Norway are vying to see who finishes top. And we will go back to Cardiff and Molly Stevens.
Well, even with 14 men, John, Australia have turned Wales on their heads. Hooker Matt Thessler with his second try for Australia. Wales 13, Australia 26.
England 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Mentioned the discipline that Ireland need, and I think certainly that applies to their captain Nathan Collins of Brentford, who's having to, well, he's playing in midfield, but he's also dropping into the back line. It's asking a lot of him.
He'll feel that in his legs come 75 minutes when you're so used to playing centre-back. It's a much different requirement physically.
Excellent play by Curtis Jones after his debut and his marvellous goal in Athens the other evening. A surging run from him to put the pressure back on the green shirts of Ireland. Here's Bellingham now. Bellingham, lovely control in the tight area, and then little ball to Jones again on the edge of the box. England with the ball midway inside the Ireland half. Gallagher and Walker involved. It just switched on. Kyle Walker in central defence for this game. He'll have thought, I would imagine, about another debut for either Harwood Bellis or Kwanzaa, who are among the substitutes, but he decided he wanted that experience alongside Mark Gay in central defence. So Kyle Walker winning his 93rd cap tonight. But great inexperience on the flanks. Livramento, his debut. Lewis Hall on the other side, his second appearance and his first from the start. Here's Jones again. Curtis Jones. I thought it was Zinedine Zidane would have been proud of that goal the other night that Curtis Jones scored. Back to Lewis Hall, back now into the centre to Jude Bellingham, and again Ireland have dropped back into position. From sitting where we are here, you can clearly see the lines, and it is very much 5-4-1, but England finding a way through, and the ball across to the near post is cleared away by Collins, and out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Hall with the cross.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often England have got into that area, is it? They've not got behind Ireland at all so far. One opportunity there and the ball comes in, but there's no one there on the end of the cross. It was along the ground, but there's 3 or 4 green shirts in that area to clear the ball away every time. You feel that their best chance is if Ireland get a bit higher up the pitch and they can hit them over the top, or just have a bit more space to play.
Yeah, I think that's England's definitely their best chance, because when Ireland get possession, that's when England can counter-attack on them. But it's hard to break this down, and Ireland are doing it ever so well at the moment and defending really well. 5
Live from the BBC. We've got Clinton Morrison, went to the World Cup with Ireland. We've got Matthew Upson, went to the World Cup with England. Here's Livramento now, just down in front of us, but Smorix of Ipswich is able to get a toe on that to just touch it out of play for a throw-in that Livramento takes to Madueke. Livramento immediately put under pressure by Callum O'Dowda. Heimir Hallgrimsson, the Icelandic coach of the Republic of Ireland, has got a thigh-length coat on, just moving from foot to foot. Heimir Hallgrimsson, one of the architects of the infamous victory for Iceland at Euro 2016 against Roy Hodgson's England. Ball played over the top now on the left-hand side for Gordon to chase. He gets there, turns, and then tries to play it back towards the edge of the box. Eboseli in his own right-back area. Collins tries to clear, but England now are all over Ireland and force Collins to concede possession. Back to England, ranked number 4 in the world against the 63rd ranked Republic of Ireland. Madueke now. Madueke against O'Dowda. Livramento ahead of him, but they've got 2 men on him now. Smorix has come back. It's lifted forward by Gallagher. Madueke is in there, volleys it back across the penalty area. It's been headed back to Madueke. Madueke trying to find a position, shoots, blocked inside the area. There were 4 Irish players between Madueke and the goal, and his shot almost inevitably was going to hit one of them.
Yeah, he should have got his shot off straight away. As soon as he came to him, I thought, and once he's had that extra touch, the Ireland defender's getting there. I don't think if he getting a penalty for that, I don't think they can move their arms anywhere, but he's been the most likely on that right-hand side.
It looked a hint of offside to me. I don't know who won the header for England, but it looked like it was going to be offside had anything come of it.
I thought it was an Irish header.
Was it an Irish header?
Yeah, back to Madueke. And now Austria are leading in that group, the Norway group. Austria 1, Slovenia 0, nil. Romano Schmidt, the goal scorer. England again, now building the pressure on the Irish. Gordon it is. Down and Eberselli sliding in with him. Corner to England.
I think set plays are a great option for England. Corners, they've won the first couple of contacts so far.
Taking it short, and now on the edge of the area. It's run from left to right by Bellingham. Madueke. Bellingham then tries to turn it back across goal, but the return pass from Madueke was asking an awful lot of Bellingham, who's couldn't get to the ball and then slides off the pitch and actually has dislodged one of those advertising hoardings behind the pitch. Goal kick.
Yeah, Matt just said, and he's right, get the crosses into the box. What do England do? Go for a short one. Carl Walker's one of the two headers that have come in the box, and if Ireland are not defending it well, then put the ball in the box, isn't it?
But they've caused havoc with the corners going in, and then you play a short one. But I think pressure from corners, as we see in the Premier League time and time again, is hugely important, and it could be the deciding factor in this game as well.
15 minutes to go of the first half, or at least the first 45 minutes. England 0, Republic of Ireland 0, and England for once inside their own half mark. Gay, and then it's played back to Gallagher, who passes it back to Pickford. It's been a virtual spectator so far, all in orange tonight. Jordan Pickford, as we've mentioned, winning his 73rd cap tonight. So now on the England goalkeepers list, there's only Shilton, Seaman and Hart have more caps, as England roll the ball forward towards Gordon on the left. Kane comes short, but Collins was quickly in and clears it back into the England half. Back to Cardiff again, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, well, Australia are taking advantage of continuous discipline errors from Wales. Matt Fessler, a hat-trick of tries for him this afternoon. It's Wales 13, Australia 33.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. So Ireland will definitely finish third in the group, so they will have a relegation playoff to come. The draw for that, the next stage of the Nations League, is this coming Friday, and it is next month, Friday the 13th actually of December, that England, and everyone else for that matter, will find out who they're going to play in the World Cup qualifiers, and we'll have an idea of how things are going to pan out under the new coach, Thomas Tuchel, who will take over after this. Conor Gallagher, he just sort of miscaught. He might even have got his feet caught in the turf.
Yeah.
And there's been a collision there between Gallagher.
It didn't.
You know
look
what?
good.
I don't think it's the collision. It's Sammy Smodic. There's no contact. Sammy Smodic goes down, and then Gallagher goes into him. And Sammy Smodic is the one who's got the bad injury, because there's no contact with him, and he just goes down and then collides into Gallagher.
He got his foot caught in the turf.
Yeah, you will see it. Here, look.
This looked quite nasty.
He's already
to be
going
honest.
down.
I think he's in a bit of pain, and he's holding his left knee. It's one of those where you're running, and he's trying to twist as well. His studs are in the turf, and he went down and contacted Conor Gallagher and looked in considerable pain. Sometimes those kind of incidents can be quite bad, can't they? It's like he's getting treatment now, but he definitely caught his studs in the turf.
Well, this is a concern obviously for Ireland in this match, and for the player himself, but Ipswich Town as well, because he's shown a bit of form, hasn't he, Smodic, in recent times, since his move to the Premier League in the summer. Yeah,
you're right, John. He obviously scored against Tottenham last time out, and he can score goals. He hasn't started the game good here, I'll be honest, on the left-hand side. It's not his best position. He'd rather be closer to Evan Ferguson, but he's doing a job, though. He has. That's what he has to do. He has to do a job, because you're not going to dominate the football, so hopefully he's all right.
Yeah, he's on his back and still receiving treatment. So while that continues here at a rather damp Wembley, back to Spain and Russell at the tennis.
And to borrow some football parlance, John, Emma Raducanu in this second set is spending a lot of time in her own penalty area, very much on the defence. She's now saved 7 break points. We're still on serve. Rebecca Marino of Canada leading by 5 games to 4. Raducanu won the first set in complete contrast by 6 games to love.
Yep, so she's doing what I would describe right at this moment in time here at Wembley. She's doing a Republic of Ireland. It's been very much a defensive-minded performance, but I think we can understand that, Clinton, as Smodic continues to receive treatment. It gets to his feet, because Finland really got at them. Even though Ireland won on Thursday night, Finland time and again found a way through, hit the bar on the post 3 times. Kelleher had to make the penalty save.
Yeah, and there's a reason why Kelleher was named man of the match. Finland were probably the better team and created loads of chances. So you can see why they've come with this kind of shape, because the England players are far superior than the Ireland players. But what frustrates me is even Ferguson, he dropped so deep. So when you do get the ball, you don't have anyone to hit. So that's why they can't get out at the moment, Ireland. I'd probably keep Ferguson up the field.
Do you think it's better for him to stay high?
Yeah, just stay high.
But if you've not got that responsibility to chip in with the midfield...
That's what they want you to do. The football's changed, isn't it, from our day and age? Matty would have told me to stay up, and I would have said yes.
You wouldn't have been more selfish, Clinton,
No,
would you?
It's all about scoring
It's all
goals.
about the team.
Yeah.
Smodics is ready to come back on, so that's good news. Still 0-0 here at Wembley. Madueke now, as Smodics does come back onto the field. Madueke's left-footed ball into the box. Bellingham battles for it with the Irish debutant, Mark McGuinness, the English-born, born in Slough, Luton Town, central defender. Gay now for England. Aerial ball to Gallagher. It's headed to Bellingham, who rather slashed at the shot and sent it well wide, much to the amusement of... It's around about 6,000 Ireland fans who are in that corner. Didn't quite take up the full allocation, so there are a few empty seats in there. I'd imagine the crowd tonight is around about the 80,000 mark, and they're still waiting for a goal.
Yeah, I mean, 35 minutes in, and England limited to those kind of efforts from Jude Bellingham. You know, shots under pressure, almost a snapshot, to be honest, off balance, not being able to create the space. And at the moment, the game plan of Ireland is working really well.
A long one for England. Walker heads it down now. Did he catch Smodics? Smodics went sprawling down inside the penalty area. Walker kind of missed the header, or if he got something on it, there wasn't much. Referee said no. Now the ball forward for England, who have got a bit of space here with Madueke. Madueke into the penalty area against O'Dowda. Then come the green shirts, and it's blocked away by Malumbi, who very nearly gave it back to Madueke. Ireland were able to scramble it away, and O'Dowda actually now bringing it forward. O'Dowda to Smodics. Smodics, who looks absolutely fine now after what was a concerning moment. Smodics taking on Livramento, who does well, wins the ball back, then gets his shirt pulled, and it's a free kick to England.
It'd be interesting to see if Kyle Walker did get a touch on that, to be honest. The ball, it was a difficult ball to deal with. It was kind of slipping over his shoulder off the greasy turf. I mean, it is a quick pitch, isn't it? It's been raining quite heavily. It might have stopped now, but the ball's moving really quickly, and Kyle Walker very nearly caught out with the pace of the ball, and he didn't get enough contact. I mean, looking at the replay, I don't even know if he touched the ball, Clint.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it now. Oh, he gets the slightest of touches there, but they're appealing that he makes contact with Smodic. No, he doesn't.
England on the attack down the left-hand side, clipped across, came off the Irish head, and then comes to Madueke, but he was very, very quickly closed down. Got the shot in on the stretch. I think Smodics has come off the field again, just behind Lee Carsley, actually. So the concern continues for him. Ireland currently with 10 men. It's Bellingham plays it out to Gordon, and then Gordon is leaned into, but has, says the referee, actually fouled Baselli, so it's a free kick to Ireland. And Smodics has...
I don't know if he had a cut on his leg, and the referee told him to come off, and he might have had a bit of blood on his leg, and they basically just treated it and he's back on the pitch, John. Yeah,
they've mopped it up, haven't they, I think. So we've got 7 minutes to go to half-time. England 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Best chances, really, that England had were those early ones in the match. And since then, there's been little to speak of in terms of clear opportunities, because it is just... Ireland are just making themselves so hard to play against them, and for England to find the openings. Bellingham now over the halfway line, Kane, but then Scales thunders into the England captain, takes ball and man and puts it out for a throw.
Have some of that. Well, that was a tackle. Even Matt said it's a tackle because he's made loads of that. He took man and ball. He weren't having none of that, was he?
No, that was a proper tackle, timed to perfection. I don't think Harry Kane quite knew it was coming, to be honest. He was a bit relaxed the way he had his first touch. He gets his head up. I don't think he expects it. Scales come in, he wins the ball, and then the follow-through. It's lovely for a centre-back that the follow-through just goes straight into the player, and job done. Brilliant tackle from Scales.
Yeah, those are the sort of tackles that are right out of matches like this.
Yeah.
England, Ireland, and it remains 0-0. Erling Haaland scored again, 2 goals. Norway 2-0 up on Kazakhstan. And we're going to hear from Rory McIlroy at half-time, by the way, on 5 Live Sport after his win earlier in the Middle East. Won well by a couple of shots. So Rory McIlroy to come. Ireland's Rory McIlroy. I'm sure he'll be following this, you would think, every chance. As England have possession with Curtis Jones, plays the ball to his left.
I mean, it's almost pointless trying to go through the middle of the pitch, isn't it, at this stage? It's just so congested. Kane comes short there. Somebody right up behind him forces his touch back. It's just a dead end at the moment. Whether that will change as the minutes go, the game gets a bit stretched. There's tired legs. I think England have got to hope that Ireland do tire a bit, but they're really getting after the ball in the centre of the park.
Okay, with the pass forward, looking for the run of Bellingham. That one was headed away by McGuinness. Comes back to O'Shea, the other Irish Ipswich man in this team, forced to concede a throw-in, which Gordon takes to Gallagher. And Gallagher, a little header over there to Lewis Hall. It's just beginning to rain a little harder again here on this November afternoon. Livramento, O'Dowda is in with a tackle on him, and then Cullen on Gallagher, and Ireland could break here. It's O'Dowda down the left-hand side. Livramento trying to get back, but he's got space down the left flank. He cuts back, and then he's taken out by Madueke. He cut the ball back, left the ball, and Madueke coming in at pace just took him out. Free kick, set-piece chance for Ireland.
It's good play from O'Dowda, because O'Dowda, John, is normally a left winger. He wants to play higher, so he's better going forward, but he's had to do a job at fullback. But it's really good play. I did think there was a foul on Conor Gallagher earlier. The referee looked like he was going to blow the whistle, but it's a good break from Ireland, and that's what they need, and this is where there'll be a threat, Matt, from set pieces.
Yeah, they've gained a bit of confidence with how well they're defended. I think they're physically coping well with the speed and the change of direction of the England players. I mean, Madueke works so hard to get back in. I think his defensive responsibility has been very good for England. He showed in Greece the amount of times he trapped back and won the ball and put his foot in. He just mistimes that tackle. He's a little bit over-eager, and he gives away a foul in what is a really nice position for Ireland. It's bang level with the 18-yard box, isn't it? Wide on the left-hand side, perfect for a right-footed in-swinger, and England have got to be tuned in here.
They have. Just before half-time, Ireland scored just before half-time on Thursday. Proved to be the winning goal as well, Ferguson. This free kick on the left. Ireland, who've never beaten England at Wembley. It's going to be swung in from the left-hand side, and there are big men there. The presence of Ferguson and Collins and McGuinness as well on his debut. He's just taken up a position inside the area. So here is the delivery that is towards the back post. Scales heads it back towards the edge of the box, headed forward, then nodded away for England. Back in it comes towards the penalty spot. Walker gets up high, and he got a shove in the back, and it's a free kick to England. And the referee, well, Gallagher's trying to run after the ball, and Scales is running with him, and I think the referee might actually, yes he is, he's going to book Scales for, it's the old delaying of the restart.
It's the worst yellow card you could get, especially as a centre-half. You're going to have so much defending to do. Where are England going to score from where that where the free kick's taken? I used to do stuff like that. My manager would go mad at me for getting yellow cards, and now I look at it and think it was so stupidity.
Yeah.
It's now a guaranteed yellow as well, isn't it?
Even you, Clinton, wouldn't do that now.
No chance.
As Ferguson tries to win it back for Ireland. Gallagher steps in on the challenge, and then there's a foul on Livramento by Josh Cullen. So in fact it's a foul on Cullen. So it's a free kick for Ireland just inside the England half. They're organising themselves, so we'll get another update from Russell Fuller.
Saved 7 break points in this set. She's now broken herself. She's serving for the match, leading 6-5 and 30-love in this Billie Jean King Cup quarter-final.
And a try in Cardiff, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, Australia's Tom Wright intercepted Sam Costello's pass to sprint 3/4 of the length of the pitch for another try. This after Wales had a try choked off for a forward pass. Things look bleak for Wales. Wales 13, Australia 40.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. This free kick is hit long and diagonally by O'Dowda, comes off the head of Bellingham, and it's out of play on the far side for a throw into Ireland. It is still 0-0, both here and in Helsinki. But if Greece were to snatch the lead there, then Greece would be going ahead of England potentially to the top of the table. Greece have to better England's result That's the only way that Greece can finish above England, because of England's superior head-to-head record against the Greeks. Throw in by Ebosali. Gets it back from O'Shea, and then the cross comes in from Ebosali, but straight into the gloves of Pickford, who catches it at the near post in the 45th minute.
I didn't mind that delivery, actually. It was fizzed in there by Ebosali. It was low, but any kind of Irish player running across the face of that near post would have got any glancing touch. It would have been very hard for Pickford to react, but everyone was just kind of waiting on that ball being dinked into the box. But Ireland, in the last 5 minutes or so, just started to grow into the game a little bit, you feel, and be a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes you're at your most vulnerable when that happens.
Yeah, the way that this is unfolding, 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, this could yet become twitchy for England.
I agree.
Bellingham over there on the left-hand side. And now Hall is involved again. Hall, but there are 2 Irishmen in there, and O'Shea and McGuinness together are able to do the job that they've been sent out to do. And then on the halfway line, it bounces in the centre circle. Curtis Jones just taps it back into his own half, and Walker will take possession in front of Jordan Pickford. A first half of relatively few chances. It does have the feel of, I mentioned the fact that being an England-Ireland game, but the old home internationals, for those who are old enough to remember them, they were quite often matches very like this. As Livramento takes the ball down the right, it comes off Smodics. It's a corner to England in added time. Norway now 3-0 up on Kazakhstan, and Alexander Sorloth has scored that latest goal. Back to Russell Fuller at the tennis.
Emma Raducanu wins 6-love 7-5 against Rebecca Marino, so Great Britain have one of the 2 points they need to try and reach the Billie Jean King Cup semi-finals.
And England have a corner here at Wembley. Madueke is going to take this one from the right-hand side. Now England have got 6 players lined up, more or less one behind the other. Penalty spot to D. Madueke, in it goes to the back post. Scales challenging for it. It was headed away. Livramento's pass was short. Huge Irish cheers. Ferguson now passes it forward. Growing belief from the thousands of Irish fans in the corner of Wembley, but Smodics won't reach that. Lewis Hall was able to come across, and England have got it.
Yeah, England just kind of see this first half. I think Ireland are really happy to go into the break at 0-0. I mean, it'd be a fantastic for them. There's a little something off the ball there.
Harry Kane.
No, he just threw it. Basically, Jason Malumbi was on it. He's holding him, and Harry Kane just throws him off. It won't be no sending off, no chance.
No. And now Malumbi's got to his feet, and Kyle Walker's had something to say to him. And the West Brom midfielder is just shoving off Walker. And the referee's taking his time here. And actually, the assistant from the far side has come onto the field as well. And it's not too heated. It was just Malumbi and Kane, but it was off the ball, and the referee, I think it's a yellow card for Harry Kane and Malumbi, yellow card each.
I think was he just loitering Malumbi, and Kane just wanted to fling him off?
Yeah, you know when you like lay the ball off and you're holding him, and he's just holding Harry Kane.
He stayed too long, didn't he?
Yeah, he just threw him off. Yeah, but Jason Malumbi knows what he's doing. He's trying to. He bought that for Harry Kane, the yellow card. His frustration. Look, you can see him. He's just holding him, and Harry Kane's like, "Get off me, please."
Yeah, as you suggested earlier,
there's nothing
Clinton,
in it.
Jason Malumbi's got a certain reputation.
He's one of those, John. I wouldn't want to play against. I could get a few yellow cards.
Well, that's it. It's 0-0. The whistle's gone for half-time. One of the Irish players actually kicked the ball goalwards, and it bounced into the England net before Jordan Pickford could get there, but the whistle had long gone. And this group is finally poised. 0-0 here in London. Still 0-0 between Finland and Greece in Helsinki. So at the moment, England are just winning the group by virtue of their head-to-head record against Greece. But lots of improvement to be made, Matt.
Yeah, I think games like this for England at Wembley, we have found tricky of late. It's just been very, very difficult for us to get ahead early. That's one thing. And once a team gets settled, like Ireland have done, it then becomes even more difficult. And we're just struggling to break them down. Credit to Ireland. I think they've turned up with the game plan. Collins into midfield, then dropping in as a back three. Just kills that space in the middle. But in wide areas, we haven't got in good enough positions to get real quality in or really make openings happen. and it's just so congested. Difficult challenge for England.
And on Thursday night, Clinton, we talked about England playing a really good game plan. Tonight, Ireland's game plan's working.
Yeah, it's worked. Obviously, people will be frustrated because they can't get out, but they're here to frustrate. If you said to Ireland now you can go away from Wembley in a 0-0, they'll bite your hands off. So yeah, the game plan is working, but there will be, Matt said, there'll be tired legs and tired minds, so the bench have to come on and do a job. But yeah, the game plan's working brilliant for Ireland. They have to be better when they get chances in the final third on their set piece delivery, because I think that's a good chance for Ireland to score this evening.
So, this is England's last match of 2024, and let's not forget, they've lost 3 of their last 5 at Wembley against Brazil, Iceland and Greece this year. And at half-time here, it is England 0, Republic of Ireland 0. And Steve Crossman is here in the commentary box with us.
The noise you may have heard just after the half-time whistle was the Clinton Morrison fan club walking past the window of our commentary box. They clearly still love you. They are enjoying themselves so far this afternoon, and why wouldn't they be? One thing I did notice, Clinton, in that first half is that there was one solitary paper aeroplane that appeared from the stands here at Wembley Stadium, and it's not the first time that's happened. And the only reason I mention it is because this is a very expectant England crowd at Wembley. It always is, and it's not just that Ireland have got to half-time level, it's that they know the longer it goes like this, the less Wembley will be an England weapon.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, it's not the noisiest anyway coming to Wembley, the England fans. They're not like us noisy fans, where the Irish fans have been noisy and singing a lot. But I think sometimes you have to give the fans something to cheer about. And at the moment, England have moved the ball and created a few half chances. But I'm thinking back, have they made Kelleher made a big save in the game? They haven't at the moment. It's probably Carl Walker's 2 headers have been their best chance, and Madueke had a shot which was a good block. And why they keep getting frustrated, the fans will go quiet and you might see a few more paper aeroplanes. But I just think that was one person just being mischievous. Don't worry about that. It's still been a good football match, Crossy.
But it's how, and you will know, Matt, having played here for England, it's how Wembley can feel if things aren't quite going your way. And you know, roughly it tends to be about the 60-minute mark if it's still 0-0. But Clinton's obviously absolutely right. It's not the fans' job to get the players going, it's the players' job to get the fans going.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, isn't it? I mean, I think it feels like that because of the recent record that John mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been good. You have to say that the results haven't been great at Wembley. I mean, to lose 3 in that period of time is almost unheard of, to be honest. So, you know, the fans will start to feel a little bit edgy. When I spoke to you off air before and I said to you about this game, we're not really talking about almost like the result or the outcome or the pressure on England of what this means to go and win the Nations League. It's massive to get them back into the next group, and then that next group of games are at a level where it's more challenging and it's more, but it's proven to be maybe more of a challenge to play against teams to come here and do what Ireland have done is something that England are struggling to pick apart. And it's a big part of tournament football, it's a big part of qualifying for big tournaments, and we've struggled against it. It has to be said, at Wembley at home, we've found it really difficult against these kind of systems.
Actually, Clinton, England's best chances have almost all come from winning the ball back high up the pitch rather than some specific pattern of play. I mean, I think that's one positive for England, is probably that I've heard loads of people say that if you have Harry Kane in an England team, you can't press effectively. I would argue England pressed pretty effectively in that half.
No, they have pressed, and Madueke's been a threat, but I think their best chances have come from set pieces, because you can't beat. Matt will tell you, when you're defending that deep, Ireland are basically defending on their 6-yard box. There's going to be no space for the likes of Harry Kane, and people could say, oh, you should play Watkins because he can run in behind. There's no space today to run in behind. Harry Kane's the perfect, but that's why you say Harry Kane getting frustrated, because he's not had a lot of touches. That's why he dropped so deep there, and he has the confrontation with Jason Malumbi. There's no space. Collins is doing a great job. He's sitting in there, and then he's going in and making it a back three. It's frustrating, but you've got to take your time. It's international football. It don't matter. All it matters about is the result. Even if you score in the 89th minute and you win the football match, no one cares about the performance before that. Well, maybe some England fans will.
08085 909 693. We will tell you when the lines are open. I suspect it'll be very shortly for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Chris is with us. Afternoon.
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Right?
What do you think? I'm good, thank you. What do you think of that first half?
Well, I nearly nodded off at home watching it. Not been a classic, has it? I think Ireland, their game plan, they've clearly frustrated England, and it's about England finding a way. Will people care if England end up topping the group. It's all been a little bit odd, and want to hear from fans about Lee Carsley staying in charge for these couple of games. I certainly don't think that was necessarily a good thing. Thomas Tuchel should have been in charge, so I'll put that one out there. And the Harry Kane debate, Steve, I think it's really interesting. Kane or Watkins, you're talking about, you can't press high with Harry Kane, but the World Cup is a fair bit away still, and Harry Kane isn't looking as sharp as he once was. So should Ollie Watkins replace Harry Kane as England's starting number 9?
It's a good question, Chris. What's the answer?
I think it's a good debate. I'll have time to think about that and maybe comment when the show starts, Steve.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Chris. Have a good one.
Cheers, Steve.
08085 909 693, and the lines are now open. And there's been another try in the rugby. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, Wales finally give their fans something to shout about in this second half. Ben Thomas with the try. Sam Costello converts just under 10 minutes to play here. Wales 20, Australia 40.
Right, we'll tell you about England's netballers taking a 1-0 lead in their series against Jamaica. We'll hear from Rory McIlroy and Mark Skinner as well. We'll hear from him speaking to Tom Gale after Manchester United's game in the WSL this afternoon. They continued their unbeaten start by beating Leicester 2-0. All of that, then second half commentary from here at Wembley. But let's get the news now on 5 Live.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you and good evening. Police investigating the murder of a woman from Northamptonshire whose body was found in a car in East London say they believe she was killed by her husband and that he's fled the country. The remains of Harshita Brella, who was 24 and from Corby, were discovered in the boot of a vehicle in Ilford on Thursday. Chief Inspector Paul Cash is from Northamptonshire Police.
Our inquiries lead us to suspect that Harshita was murdered in Northamptonshire earlier this month by her husband, Pankaj Lamba. We suspect he transported Harshita's body from Northamptonshire to Ilford by car. We now believe he has fled the country, and we are releasing an image of Pankaj Lamba with this statement.
Ukraine says one of Russia's largest missile and drone attacks in months has brought severe disruption to power supplies. 10 people have been killed and there was damage across the country from Lviv in the west to Zaporizhzhia in the southeast. The head of the Lib Dems in Wales, Jane Dodds, has refused to quit despite pressure from the party's leader, Sir Ed Davey. She was criticised in 2021 for making a grave error while handling sexual abuse claims in a previous job at the Church of England. Last week, Justin Welby was forced to stand down as Archbishop of Canterbury because of failures in a separate child abuse case. Asked if she should resign, Sir Ed called on Ms Dodds to reflect very carefully, but she insists she's going nowhere.
I've spent 27 years in child protection and safeguarding. I've committed my life to caring and protecting children, and I'll continue to do that in the Senedd. I want to be winning Senedd seats in 2026 and being able to have a strong Liberal Democrat representation in the Senedd going forward.
And the Transport Secretary, Louise Haigh, says the government's considering imposing a new limit on how much young people have to pay to use buses. The government's been criticised for announcing it'll raise the cap for single fares in England from £2 to £3 from January.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to 5 Live Breakfast.
Every weekday morning from 6, wake up to the latest news.
Let's just bring you up to speed with what we've been talking about this morning.
Updates from the world of sport.
One of the all-time greats of British sport, Mark Cavendish.
I was lucky to get some extra years out of my career and complete cycling, I guess.
And of course, we hear from you.
As a community, it has to be open at funny hours.
I'm going to have to admit, I'm really disappointed.
I have been living and breathing this funding crisis my entire life.
5 Live Breakfast.
With Rachel Burden and Rick Edwards.
Listen weekdays from 6
on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
And it's England 0, Republic of Ireland 0 here at Wembley Stadium. Second half commentary on the way for you. By the way, it has reached half-time. Finland 0, Greece 0 as well. So as it stands, England still would win Nations League Group B. However, they need to get the win here just to make sure that there's nothing Greece can do themselves to change that. There's been another score at the Principality in the rugby. Molly.
Yeah, and if I tell you that there are Welsh fans queuing for the exits, I'm sure you can tell which way this has gone now. Len Ikatau, one-on-one with Cam Winnett. He sidesteps the fullback to sail over for another Australia try. It's Wales 20, Australia 47.
let's catch you up with some of the other sport this afternoon. Emma Raducanu has made the perfect start to the Great British Billie Jean King Cup quarter-final challenge against Canada. She beat Rebecca Marino in straight sets, 6-love, 7-5. Here she is.
Yeah, it was an incredibly difficult match because the dynamics were so different in each of the sets. I think in the second set, Rebecca really upped her level. I think she started swinging on pretty much every ball, whether that was wide, whether that was fast. And serving great, a lot more first serves, which made it very difficult to kind of get into her service game. So I'm very pleased with how I managed to fend off my own break points and and then sneak that break at 5-all and close it out.
Yeah, there's no best time for a break, but it could come at a better time because you finally get that break and then you're serving. Does that boost your confidence like through the ceiling?
Yeah, big time. I think, when you're playing an opponent like Rebecca, who's such a big server, there's so much emphasis on each one of your service games. So I knew I had to dig in and fight because one break of mine could mean the set was over. So I think on my own break points, I really stuck in a little bit extra, and it definitely helped to have the support of our band like every single point. So thank you.
That is Emma Raducanu. Correspondent Russell Fuller is in Malaga. That's how you set the tone, Russell, isn't it?
You do, and that's how you sum up your victory, as she did in the first answer there. Very succinctly indeed, I thought. An excellent match report. She completely set the tone for the match in the first set by sweeping Marino off the court with some very aggressive returning and some fine first serving as she won that by 6-love. And then when 7 break points down in the second set, she really did save those break points with some very good defensive tennis and then got the break to win it 7-5. And yes, in the number 2 role, Emma Raducanu, as she did against Germany in the first round, has got Britain off to the best possible start. Now Katie Bolter has a tougher challenge than she did in the first round because she'll play Leylah Fernandez, the world number 31. They're about to walk out onto court. And some news from the Wheelchair Masters final earlier today, Steve. Gordon Reid lost in 3 sets, 6-2 in the decider, to Japan's teenage world number 1 Takita Oda.
Thank you, Russell. Rory McIlroy has won the DP World Championship Golf in Dubai, securing his 3rd straight end-of-season title. That's his 6th overall, and it means he's drawn level with Seve Ballesteros and is 2 behind Colin Montgomery. And McIlroy spoke to Ian Carter earlier today.
It means a tremendous amount, I think. To get a win, I haven't won since May. I've had a lot of close calls, a lot of second place finishes, so to finally get over the line felt really good. And then to win my 6th race to Dubai, to put my name up alongside Seve's, I think I got emotional earlier just thinking about what Seve means to European golf and what he means to the European Ryder Cup team. And to think that, my name is up alongside his, it's incredible. Something I'm incredibly proud of. I certainly don't take for granted.
It was effectively in the bag, but the tournament wasn't. I mean, it was pretty much a dogfight down that back 9 there, which I wonder, does that make it all the more satisfying in some respects than, say, you'd run away with it?
It does. It looked, I think it looked in the middle of the front 9 that I could have ran away with it, and that's obviously what I wanted to do because it would make life a lot easier for me. But the missed putt on 7 for birdie, and I sort of halted the momentum a little bit, and Rasmus was playing well and wasn't going away in tough conditions, and I needed to dig deep those last 3 holes, to play the last 3 holes the way I did. That's what I'll remember a lot about this week, but I'll remember those last 3 holes, the wedge shot on 16, the 6-iron into 17, and the 2 shots into the last.
That's Rory McIlroy, and we're ready for second half commentary with Clinton Morrison, Matt Upson, John Murray, and first Ian Dennis.
Thanks, Steve. Neither side has made a change as England get this second half underway in their white shirts, navy shorts, playing from right to left as we look here in the main stand at Wembley. So they have Pickford in goal, a back 4 of Livramento, Walker, Gahey and Hall, Gallagher, Bellingham and Jones in the midfield, Madueke, Kane and Gordon as a front 3. Still a lot of empty red seats around Wembley as a lot of the spectators are still to return from the concourses during that half-time interval. As Ireland, playing from left to right in their green shirts and white shorts, have Kelleher in goal. They've then got O'Shea, McGuinness and Scales and O'Dowda, with Collins, Cullen, Malumbi, Eberseli, Smodic and Ferguson. And incidentally, Malumbi, who was booked in that little altercation with Harry Kane on the stroke of half-time, with that yellow card, will actually miss the Nations League playoff game in March, that promotion-relegation game with one of the teams from League C. As it stands, it would be against a Slovakia, a Kosovo, a Belarus, or indeed a Faroe Islands, because of that yellow card, as Madueke picks it up on that far side, waits to deliver the cross, plays it back. Livramento now, first-time cross, headed away by Scales. Eberselli's back header will come out towards Lewis Hall, the left-back for England. Back towards Gehi, England, midway through the island half. Rolls it out towards Gordon, back to his Newcastle clubmate. He goes square once again towards Gehi, and further in field now towards Kyle Walker, who right-footed passes the ball to Livramento, midway through the island half. Malumbi, incidentally, was a little bit naughty, because he was thrown to the floor by Harry Kane, and in a rather poor fashion he went down holding his face in that end of the first half, did the West Bromwich Albion midfielder. As now it's back with Gordon on this near side, onto his right foot, passes the ball towards Jones, lays it off, interception from Cullen, slides into the challenge. Bellingham picks up that loose ball, is going to run around on that right-hand side, and now checks and waits and plays it out towards Madueke. Short forward ball towards Bellingham. Madueke has come on the inside, creates that width on the right-hand side for Livramento. But you've got to say that the Ireland game plan's working well at the moment. Here is Harry Kane, turns, chips it towards the far post. Gordon is there, can't get there, and Ireland will head the ball away, only as far as the edge of the area. Hall gets it back for England. Gehi's forward ball finds Jones. England now looking to try and get round the back. It breaks away off the legs of Gordon, and it will go for a England corner kick. Full time in the rugby, Molly.
And for the first time ever, Wales lose 11 test matches in a row. For Australia, a record of a different kind, a record win in Cardiff. Welsh rugby is in the doldrums. What next? Well, they have the world champion South Africa to face next Saturday. At half a full-time here, it's Wales 20, Australia 52.
Thanks, Molly. Here at Wembley Stadium, we've been playing for 3 minutes into the second half. You have to say the Ireland game plan is working perfectly. But England were poor in that first half, lacked creativity. But they're going to come forward now with Bellingham towards Gordon. What would you like to see more of, Matt Upson?
I think just the speed in which England are moving the ball. I feel the middle of the pitch is so congested, but you've got to kind of draw players into the middle, and then it's got to be fired wide quickly. Madueke and Gordon have to receive the ball where the distances are favourable for them to get a run at their defender in their one-on-one duels. At the moment, Ireland have got their distances really well. They're shuffling across nicely, but maybe the ball needs to move quicker. All that quick one-switcher play, which is impossible to deal with, because as a defender you're tucked in and it gets switched quickly, and then all of a sudden Madueke's in the advantageous position. At the moment, Ireland are just keeping it at bay, and our wide players aren't getting as much joy as what they want to.
Yeah, I'd agree with him, Matt. I'd agree with Matt 100%. You know what I would do? And it's not, he hasn't done anything wrong. I'd sacrifice Gallagher and put someone like a Gibbs White in there, and even a Morgan Rogers, because these are the type of games where their creative players get on the ball. Ireland are not really a threat in there, so you don't need two midfielders like that who are going to sit there. So that's what I would do.
Clinton Morrison and Matt Upson, who are with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. When Matt Upson made his debut for Birmingham in a 4-2 defeat at Bolton Wanderers.
Oh, I remember it well.
Yeah. Do you remember who got the goals for Birmingham?
Long afternoon that was. For Birmingham?
Yeah.
Well, is he in the room?
One is, yes.
Yeah. Can't remember. Kenny Cunningham.
No, you'll hear him on the radio later.
Kenny Cunningham scored an own goal in that, actually.
Don't tell me it was Robbie Savage.
Robbie Savage.
Was it?
Robbie Savage and Clinton Morrison were the goal scorers. 2-2 towarose the end, and then up popped Yorkie and Delroy Facey.
Oh, remember
I
that.
remember
a 4-2
JJ Okocha, I think it was. That tore us apart that day.
Savage was a clearance. He weren't going for goal.
Here is Jones. Out towards Hall on this near side. 5 minutes into the second half, looking towards Harry Kane. McGuinness, the debutant for Ireland, plays the ball forward. Ferguson then gives it back to England and Harry Kane, who drills that ball. But he's picked out Bellingham. Bellingham inside the area, goes to ground. Referee says a penalty. That was a piercing ball from Harry Kane, and no wonder that the England players are going to acknowledge and congratulate Harry Kane, because he played it in so low, it split the Irish defence. and as a result Bellingham was brought down. England have a penalty as a result.
Yeah, so the pass from Harry Kane is fantastic. I don't know what Ferguson's given the ball away. It's poor from
Scales
Ferguson.
is off as well. He's been booked for a second yellow card. So Liam Scales, the Celtic defender, has been shown a second yellow card, and to compound matters now for Ireland, they are down to 10 men.
And I said
what did you say earlier?
Half, when I say in the first, don't get involved in nonsense that's going to affect you in the second half when you have to defend. So it's poor from Scales. It's poor from Ferguson. He gives the ball away. It is a foul.
Is that a yellow card?
I don't think it's a yellow card.
That for me doesn't meet the threshold of a second yellow, does it? It's a foul, Clint. He dangles his leg. He catches Jude Bellingham's ankle. There's not a lot of contact, but there's enough. He goes fishing for the ball, Scales. But for me, that's not a second yellow.
I agree.
What a pass from the pass from Harry Kane. We can say about, is he the same player in terms of physically? Maybe not. But there's one thing that doesn't leave him, and that is his assist ability. With that range of passing for a centre forward, and his vision is just world class.
Harry Kane up against Quaveen Kelleher, who you might recall was outstanding for Liverpool in the League Cup final 2 years ago when they beat Chelsea in a penalty shootout. Kelleher now faces the England captain. He's scored 22 penalties in his England career. He runs up now, does Harry Kane, and he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Right-footed, dispatches the ball in. That's the breakthrough goal. And Harry Kane, England's all-time leading goal scorer, once again is successful with a spot kick, and England lead Ireland by 1-0.
Well, for me, you almost don't need to look at this one. It's just a nailed-on certainty for me that Harry Kane puts that away in a game that was starting to look a little bit edgy for England. It's not gone too well so far. There's a lot on this game. They need to finish top of the group, and that pass and the finish with the penalty, which was just elementary, really, with the kind of mood that he's in, I think is big for England. It just really settles this game down.
Yeah, they needed it, England. For me, though, it starts from Ferguson. The layoff was terrible. Players were out of position, and that is as a centre forward where you've got to hold the ball up. He lays it, and everyone runs past him, and then they get opened up. And yes, Bellingham's clever, and Scales has just dangled the leg. But I don't think it's a second yellow card. But penalty from Harry Kane's outstanding.
But the fact that so many England players went to celebrate with Harry Kane for the assist tells you everything about the quality of the ball that prized open the Irish defence.
Yeah, it makes me laugh when people criticise Harry Kane, because there's not many in the England team that could play that pass, and he's still a fantastic goal scorer. And as centre forward, you're judged on goals. No one has a better goal scoring record than Harry Kane. You can say, he can't run in the channels like he used to, but me and Matt were talking before, that's what he can do. That pass there on the half, it was a fantastic pass. It was pure, beautiful. I don't know, I'm trying to describe it in a better way, but it was beautiful.
Well, 12 goals now in his last 9 appearances at Wembley, and for the record, he takes his tally to 69 in what is his 103rd England appearance, and also timely because Greece have just taken the lead in Helsinki, and had that goal gone in whilst England was still drawing, there still would have been an element of jeopardy, but England are doing what they have to do, because it was always expected that Greece would beat Finland, who are pointless at the bottom of Group B2, and to return to the elites level in this Nations League competition, which is always the mission for Lee Carsley at the very outset. That was his remit. England are on course to do exactly that. Leading 1-0, Harry Kane. In fact, if you remember when they played Finland earlier on in this competition, 2 second-half goals from Harry Kane saw them beat the Finns by 2-0. And that's the breakthrough goal. England are ahead, and maybe they might just start to relax a little bit more now on this damp evening at Wembley, as Livramento surges forward on that far side, the right, cuts back the cross, might fall towards Gordon. What a volley! Instinctive, first time finish. Anthony Gordon with his first goal for England. 2 goals in rapid quick time, and England now have full control. 2-0.
Yeah, I don't know for the life of me what McGuinness and Cullen are doing. He's trying to clear it. I think it hits Cullen, but once it comes to Gordon, it's a brilliant finish. You're right, then. The way he controls that volley past Kelleher into the bottom corner, it's a great finish. This could get out of hand for Ireland now, because England England are like playing ever so well at the moment and creating a lot of chances, but it's poor defending again.
Yeah, it was rather fortunate the way the ball ended up with Gordon. I mean, Livramento does well, gets to the byline, gets his head up, crosses it. It's not the best of clearances from Collins, really. Doesn't get the contact, and he just skews it onto Cullen. But Anthony Gordon's reaction, I mean, it just fell beautifully, didn't it? And he controlled it. It was quite high, around the hip level. So he got his knee right over the ball. Lovely technique just to shape it into the near post corner. But I agree, Clinton, it's going to be a long 35 minutes out on that pitch now for the Irish players.
Ireland down to 10 men, have conceded 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes, and Anthony Gordon, on his 9th appearance for England, has just bagged his first goal, and he's smiling as wide as the River Tyne. In fact, the River Mersey, of course, bearing in mind his Liverpudlian roots, and a long way back now for Ireland. And in fact, if anything, Jaime Hallgrimsson has just got to make sure that this doesn't become quite ugly.
Yeah, me personally, I'm making changes now, because a lot of these players in the first half have put a lot of work in, and you're going to be under pressure, have a lot of defending to do. And you know what, you still need an outlet, and they've struggled massively. Listen, the game plan was working, but you don't want to concede that goal, which they did Harry Kane's now. So, yeah, it's going to be a long evening for Ireland.
Here is Gallagher, forward ball, looking for Livramento, who's the furthest forward player on the edge of the area, and Ireland are being forced back now, and they've conceded another corner kick on that far side, the England right. Lee Carsley's just having a word with Ashley Cole, as Greece have got a second goal now. Finland 0, Greece 2, so they are matching England, but it will be irrelevant really now with England having control of this game, because they'll both finish with 15 points, but because of that superior head-to-head, England will avoid a Nations League playoff match in March, as they have a corner kick on the right-hand side. Gehi with a flick, far post, and steered in. The corner came in, and England have added a third, and Ireland are in danger of capitulating, and I think it was Conor Gallagher who got the touch at the far post, his first goal for England. Ireland are falling apart, and England now are going into cruise mode.
Yeah, it was a lovely flick on at the near post. We spoke about the set pieces, the corners. England have looked to threaten those all night, and probably in the first half was their best opportunities to apply pressure and look like scoring. And they just put it together here against an Irish team now that has really fallen apart, to be honest. They don't win the first contact. I think it's Gehi with the flick on at the near post. And then there's 2-3 players lined up for this tap-in. Conor Gallagher gets there first. Jude Bellingham right behind him to finish the job if Gallagher misses it. But this is difficult to watch for Ireland now. They're absolutely gone to pieces, Clinton.
Yeah, they have gone to pieces, and they will be checking VAR to see if he was offside, but they've checked complete, and the goal stands. And they're two good friends as well. Mark Gehi and Conor Gallagher are two good friends, so it's a great little flicker, and it's a good finish from Conor Gallagher. He's getting there before Jude Bellingham, but yeah, this could get out of hand now.
And England are going to be making a change, and we are going to see another England debutant under this interim spell of Lee Carsley, and it's somebody who he knows extremely well, because he was captain of the successful under-21 winning side that won the Euros in 2023 under Lee Carsley. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's going to be coming on for his England debut. Just had a nice little embrace there from Ashley Cole. If ever there was a telltale sign that the game is safe, Matt Upson.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant moment for him, and I think, you know, he's more than capable at the level of stepping into this game and giving a good account of himself. But it's a luxurious position to come on now. Like you say, it's 10 men, it's 3-0. You can relax and play.
Here is Livramento. England are coming forward, leading 3-0. Madueke waits to deliver that ball. We've been playing now for just over an hour. Here is Bellingham. He went in for that ball at the far post, just beaten to it by Gallagher. As now Harry Kane's cross takes a deflection, loops into the air, and it's gathered in by Callaghan. And the attendance, incidentally, is 79,969. So John's guess of around 80,000 wasn't too far away, and Gallagher will be the player who's going to be coming off for Harwood-Bellis.
Gallagher. Interesting.
That's what we're told. Lee Carsley just having a final word with the Southampton defender. It will mean that Lee Carsley, in his 6 games in charge, I think it takes the tally to 31 different players, and in that, he's handed out 8 debuts. Not a bad return. Certainly used a number of players in this Nations League campaign. The Fields of Athenry is being sung by the Irish support. That's why the boos and jeers you might be able to hear from the England supporters in response. Ball forward on that right-hand side. Unravelled, though, very, very quickly, didn't it? 3 goals in 6 minutes for Ireland.
Yeah, the magic from Harry Kane. I know we said it at the time, but really sometimes players like him, that they make the difference in games like this that are so tight or difficult to break down. And you can't underestimate the vision he has with his pass and the fade that you put on it with his right foot. It was a low pass. It wasn't lofted over the top of everyone. He saw a gap and he faded it with his right foot with a bit of bend. It was inch perfect for Jude Bellingham, and Scales could do nothing but give the penalty away. It was just fantastic play from the England captain.
You were right to express surprise about the information that Gallagher was coming off, because indeed it was Kyle Walker who has come off, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis comes on for what will be a very proud moment for England's under-21 winning captain, the Southampton central defender, making his England debut here in the second half at Wembley Stadium with 28 minutes remaining, as England 3-0 up against the 10 men of Ireland have got a corner kick that Gordon waits to take on this near side the left. Both arms go aloft. England playing from right to left. In it goes. Kelleher fists it away with both hands. Out towards Hall. Turns onto his left foot. Can't get the shooting opportunity. Gallagher then with the old Rabona.
No, he needs to slow down. Listen, I know you're winning
from the edge of the area.
I get it for someone else, but Conor Gallagher, slow down. Don't get excited.
A little bit much.
Yeah, a bit too much. Yeah, a bit too much. But when you scored and you're winning 3-0, I would have tried it, but tripped over.
That's what I mean. It's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I heard or learnt 2 new things about Taylor Harwood-Bellis last week when he was put up to the England media. He's dating Roy Keane's daughter. Roy Keane, who is actually here today working for the media. And when he was asked about that, he was certainly very uncomfortable, and you could tell very unwilling to talk about it. And the other thing I learnt about Taylor Harwood-Bellis is that his dad, Martin, used to be Stockport County's mascot, Vernon the Bear, for many years.
I thought you were going to say something else there. You went to mascot, and I was picturing what
a grown man
as a child.
Martin Bellis for many years.
Vernon the Bear.
Vernon the Bear. Ireland have a throw. It's a flat one on this near side, and it's cleared away by Hall, and all of a sudden Bellingham on the counter-attack as the Irish green shirts try and flood back. And floodgates could open here. Kane towards Curtis Jones. Jones with a first-time shot. Madueke can't get there, and then in the end it's swept away by Collins. The break was on. Damage limitation now.
Yeah, no, they got back well there. Ireland actually up the pitch and had to get back quickly. Bellingham breaking down the left, really sees a good pass inside. The way he offloads it, Bellingham, I will say, his timing and ability to see his offload. He drives with the ball, but his head is never down. He's always up scanning, and he 9 times out of 10 he just sees the pass and he just offloads it at exactly the right time.
Ireland are planning a triple change. I can see that the former Tottenham striker Troy Parrott is down there. He now plays for AZ Alkmaar. We're going to see Finn Azaz, the Middlesbrough player, actually born in London.
There's someone in here who'll be happy about that.
He's a Middlesbrough player coming on for what will be his 5th appearance. There are actually 8 English-born players in this Ireland squad. And then the other player is going to be Ryan Manning, the Southampton defender. So a triple change just to try and, 25 minutes.
You know what it is? It's not to give people caps, it's not that, but you just got tired legs and and you just need a fresh legs, just give you a bit of impetus. Not because you don't, as I said, the game's 3-0. You do not want this to get out of hand 4, 5 and 6.
I mean, I don't think they would have envisaged to be in this situation 65 minutes gone, given how good they were first half. And like you said, Dan, it's unravelled very quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah. And also to compound matters, the sending off.
It kills them. Absolutely kills them. And I didn't agree with the referee on that, Ken. It just seemed such a harsh thing to give him a second yellow. I mean, it's bad enough that the penalty, and then
that's what
it just kills the game, doesn't it? It does
kill the game, it does, yeah. It's one rule I just do not get.
Yeah.
Well, the England supporters now lighting up their mobile phones. We've got a little bit of an impromptu light show now here at Wembley, as the changes are Manning for Eberseli, Azaz for O'Dowda, and Troy Parrott is coming on, and it's Evan Ferguson who is going off. So they're the 3 Irish changes as they trail by 3-0. 66 minutes played, but very, very now hard for Ireland. And also as well, we mentioned earlier that Jason Malumbi suspended for that Nations League playoff game, as will now the Celtic defender Liam Scales. So it's been a costly game in that respect for Jaime Hallgrimsson, as they will have that Nations League playoff game in March, and England going to top the group will mean that the likelihood is on December the 13th they'll be in a 5-team group for the World Cup qualifying campaign, which you would think would start the Thomas Tuchel reign come March, when he eventually takes over next year. Madueke breezes his way in towards the penalty area, and the ball is gathered in by Quaveen Kelleher. So midway through the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app, with England leading by 3-0. Here's John Murray.
Thanks, Ian. And the other thing is about the World Cup draw. We're waiting for confirmation on this, but it looks as though the top pot of seeds will be largely based on Nations League performances, but will also include the top 4 European nations in the world rankings, and England are one of those. So we are expecting that England will be in the top pot of seeds, the first pot, the highest pot, when the World Cup draw is made. 3-0 here, and heading towards promotion in the Nations League, back to the top division, as England attack with Livramento. Here is Kane. Could be a field day yet for England, as it's played in now, and a chance in the middle for Bellingham on the edge of the area. Defender went with him, O'Shea, and Quaveen Kelleher as well on the edge of the box, I think did well.
He just arrived a fraction late there, Bellingham. Lovely set-up play. I think the ball was set back for the ball whipped into the box, and Bellingham's run just a fraction too late, couldn't quite get across the face of O'Shea.
From the football at Wembley to the tennis in Spain, and Russell Fuller.
And both of these players are bristling with attacking intent. Katie Bolter has the early break against Leila Fernandez, leads 2-1, and after Emma Raducanu's victory, a win for Bolter would take Britain into the semi-finals of the Billie Jean King Cup.
If you've just joined us, defeat for Wales in Cardiff. Australia won 52-20, which means that is now a record 11 defeats in a row for the Welsh men's rugby union team. Lines are open for 606 to talk about this. A frustrating first half for England. Ireland with their excellent defensive game plan, but it all opened up with that Harry Kane pass that led to Scales' challenge on Bellingham to concede a penalty. And I agree with the rest of you that I think that is very harsh on Scales there, to be sent off for a second yellow card for that. It's the double jeopardy thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the magnitude of the foul, John, he just clips his foot.
Here is Bellingham, who won the penalty. Surging run from him. Kane turns, sends the ball to Madueke, bounced up and bounced off his knee and through for a goal kick.
A tough one to bring under control, that, wasn't it? Skipping up off the turf for Madueke. Kane sees him on that far. I mean, he hasn't slowed down, Clinton, has he, Madueke? No. He's still as lively, isn't he?
He is lively. To me, the only thing you think is, because he's a left-footed player, if it comes onto his left foot on the other side, I think he can control that, even though it's a difficult pass. But he has been good on that right-hand side.
And so England scored their 3 goals in the space of around about 5 minutes, having just had a man sent off, and it was chaos defensively for the second goal, and then which was scored by Anthony Gordon, a ricochet when Cullen and McGuinness went for the same ball. Anthony Gordon scoring his first goal for England, and then Conor Gallagher likewise. So 3-0 it is to England, as Ireland send a long pass for Smorix to chase, but Pickford comes out of his penalty area and is able then to take a few steps back and pass it forwards. Yep, Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton, why don't you take your calls on 08 085 909 693. We're expecting 606 to be on the air around about 7:30, so we'll see if we can get you live interviews from down in the tunnel before that. Otherwise they will be in 606, and if you missed them there, all of the reaction will be on the Football Daily podcast in the morning from BBC Sounds. Here's Madueke into the penalty area, right footed ball right across the 6-yard box, and now England are finding a way through. No one could get a touch in the middle, but it's reached Anthony Gordon, who must be feeling on top of the world after getting his first goal. It's bounced back to Bellingham on the edge of the area, off defender, Bellingham into the box. Then the challenge came in on him. Bellingham has gone down, he's writhing round inside the penalty area. England back in possession. Gallagher actually has a look at Bellingham, but he is getting to his feet. He thought about putting it out of play. Passes it to Jones, Curtis Jones, his new midfield partner. Gallagher and Jones starting again for England together, same midfield three. And indeed, all of the forward players for England still out on the field who started this match, with Madueke and Gordon. And it is Madueke again teasing the defenders, trying to get past them round the back, but the newly arrived Ryan Manning of Bristol City just got a foot on that. However, it's back into Kane. Kane taking on the defenders, and it just bounced off McGuinness and away from Kane, and Ireland clear.
Just tried to bundle his way through there, Harry Kane. There's bodies everywhere. He knocks it in, almost tries to play it off another player, off their shin or something, into his path. And I agree, John, Ryan Manning has had a difficult entry into the game, hasn't he? I mean, 10 men, you're then one-on-one with
it's one of those, Matt. I'm not sure if I want to gaffer why you bring me
Hammy's
on.
a bit tight.
We're going to leave it. We're going to see Jared Bowen and Dominic Solanke and Morgan Rogers. Clinton, you're going to see Morgan Rogers on the field for England at Wembley.
Good player, him, John. He excites me. He's had a brilliant season at Aston Villa. A lot of people were saying he deserves his England call out, and he did. He made his debut the other night and done really well. One of the goals that England scored, it was his little reverse ball in field. That was fantastic.
Erling Haaland scored a hat-trick for Norway.
No way, really?
No, it's true.
Shock.
I think that is now, Ian Dennis might know, I think is it 24 or 25 now for club and country. Anyway, it's round about that. And Norway are winning 4-0 against Kazakhstan. However, Austria are also winning. And they would win the group because of their head-to-head record against Norway if it stays like that. England heading for promotion after their 3 goals in the 5 minutes here. And Ireland playing with 10 men, just really under pressure now. They're really rattled. The goals came quickly and the game just ran away from them.
Yeah, and it was like we've said, the moment that unlocked it. You talk about passes or players that can unlock games. That was a classic example of something that was very stale, and that moment unlocked it.
Jones and Bellingham on the left for England. Lewis Hall with a pass back to Bellingham, who was challenged right on the edge of the penalty area. It's in the full-back position by O'Shea. That's a free kick, like a short corner this will be. And England are going to make these changes, and I see that Ireland also are going to bring Andrew Moran is going to come on for them, who's on loan at Stoke from Brighton and doing very well in the Championship for them. So the changes, they are going to make them now before the free kick is taken.
John, you'll be surprised. I don't think, I'm not sure it's Harry Kane. Conor Gallagher's one, Gordon's one, and Madueke's one. So it must be Solanke might be going up there with Harry Kane.
Okay. And maybe Harry Kane, as he does, dropping back. Although Bellingham's there.
It's interesting to see how
two up front,
what positions they take up, whether or not he'll go wide. Maybe one will go wide with Gordon, but I suppose you've got Rogers and Bowen.
So Rogers, I presume, is going to come on on the left-hand side where he played the other night. So yes, just to confirm, Rogers. So this is his second cap, first appearance for England at Wembley. Jared Bowen, the West Ham captain, and Solanke are on. Gordon, Madueke and Gallagher are off. So 2 of the England goal scorers off. Right, they're ready for the free kick, having made those changes. England 3-0 up. They take it short, then Bellingham, and then it's drilled in! Bowen scores! It's his first touch! And the West Ham captain has finally got his first goal for England. in his 14th appearance. He's had to wait for it, but my goodness, he enjoyed that, and he caught it beautifully just inside the area. It flew through a crowd of players. Jared Bowen punches the air at Wembley. England 4, Republic of Ireland 0.
That's what you want, your first touch. And it's a great finish. To be fair, it's a good team goal because you can see Jude Bellingham and Jones over there, and it's something England definitely would have worked on. Jared Bowen, it's a good ball from Bellingham. He doesn't overhit it. He plays it into him, and he can control the finish. And it's a difficult skill, but what a finish from Jared Bowen, and what a first touch.
That is a hit. I'm just watching the replay. I mean, that is not an easy ball to hit. It's been quite kind in the sense that there's so many bodies in front of him that he's hit it through, and it's gone past 3 green shirts. Kind of, I don't know how it's gone through them, but it's just found its way. But the strike was clean. It was curling. Kelleher completely, no vision at all. There's so many bodies. It just fizzes past him. What an entry to the field for Jared Bowen.
And England now are rounding things off under Lee Carsley in some style. His last match of the 6 as the interim head coach. He got the 2-0 win in Dublin in his first match when Rice and Grealish, remember, scored the goals, neither of whom are able to be involved in this match because of having to withdraw from the squad. But now 4-0 it is, and it's going to be 5 wins out of the 6, and England are going to finish top of the group. Ireland coming forward. Now Jordan Pickford wants another clean sheet, as he managed to achieve in Athens on Thursday night. Moran has come on into the midfield for Cullen for Ireland. So Ireland in the box, and the shot on the turn from Manning, actually, up from left back, shoots but straight at Pickford, who makes a rare save, possibly his first save.
Yeah, rare save. I tell you what, the youngsters come on Moran. He looks. I know it's not an easy place to come on, but you're losing 4-0. But he looks neat and tidy on the ball. He made a good run there, so it's comfortable save from Pickford though.
Clinton on loan from Brighton for Stoke this season. 16 appearances, 3 goals and 5 assists.
So he can play.
This is his second cap. The number 13. 21 years old. England with Bowen. Bowen makes it 3 players scoring their first goal, and his cross into the near post has been deflected wide. It was the defender who was in there just blocked it from Curtis Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who was in for England, and it's come off the defender. Oh, Solanke it was it?
Yeah, it was Solanke just arrived in there, and I think it was McGuinness. Did really well, actually, the centre-back. Bowen went round the outside, whips it in with his right foot this time, and McGuinness just goes to ground and stops Solanke getting the clean contact. I mean, he's 4 yards away from goal, Solanke. He thinks he scored, but the foot comes from nowhere and just gets the block in.
It's like a revolving door now. Another substitution is Angel Gomez coming on, who's been another of the success stories under Lee Carsley, the Lille midfielder, and that's the end of Curtis Jones' afternoon. So Angel Gomez coming on for his 4th cap. Corner for England then into the near post. That's headed away well and firmly out towards Gomez, who's into the action for the first time. And then Bellingham drives a pass in, and it's headed down and in! On the edge of the 6-yard box, it's Taylor Harwood-Bellis.
Let me tell you something, John.
Well, what about that? On his debut, Taylor Harwood-Bellis of Southampton, and it's 5-0 to England.
It's a great ball in from Jude Bellingham. He just zings that to the back post, and Harwood-Bellis, it's a good header past Kelleher. Listen, Ireland are not defending at the moment. I know they're down to 10 men, but he's still got to be solid and not make it get out of hand. He won't be allowed around Roy Keane's house for a few weeks now.
I think Ireland have, just like you say, it's almost like we're done. And you're right, Clint, you can forgive the fact that you're not going to have much of the ball, but I think it's fatigue as well. They've been under so much pressure. But that ball from Jude Bellingham, if there's ever an inviting kind of ball to head, it's that one. It's flat, it's got pace on it, it's just drifted over the top of McGuinness, and Harwood-Bellis comes in behind, gets the contact on it. Technically it's great, he just heads it down back across the goal. Kelleher dives to his left, doesn't get there, and hey, you know, you get your debut and then you get your goal as a centre-back at Wembley. Doesn't get much better, John.
5-0 and 1, 2, 3, 4 players have scored their first goals for England here. Ireland trying to get themselves on the score sheet with a rare attack. 0-0 at half-time, and now with 10 minutes to play, it's 5-0 as this breaks down on the edge of the England penalty area. So Taylor Harwood-Bellis, great moment for him, and really that has rounded it off beautifully for Lee Carsley in this job. In his last match, he's given a debut to the man who was his captain when Lee Carsley's team won the European Under-21 Championship in Georgia at the end of last season, and now that young man has scored. You know, it's almost like it's a nice perfect ring. Symmetry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice moment. Like you say, for Lee Carsley, who has worked with him very closely, had a lot of success with him, managed a lot of his games at under-21 level, and then for him to step up. I like to see the progression from under-21s to the seniors. I think it's just gives a really good feel about that process when you're in and around it through the younger age groups, to know that there is that pathway through to the top of the game. And like you say, we've seen it in abundance, haven't we, under Lee Carsley?
Certainly have, with more debuts today, and Bellingham now, who struck a glorious pass really for the header that Harwood-Bellis ran onto, just headed it down. Great, it was a great central defender's headed goal, Matt.
Well, they're all great, John, if you're a central defender and you score. Isn't that right, Clinton?
Yeah, you're right.
Even as a centre forward, they're all great, aren't they?
They're all great. Even the tap-ins, they're all great.
It is 22 hat-tricks in Erling Haaland's career, club and country. Norway are now winning 5-0. Antonio Nusa has made it 5-0 against Kazakhstan. And it was Cullen who came off from the midfield when Moran came on. So we have 7 minutes to play here, plus added time, and England now on easy street. Nothing Greece can do about it. Last we heard, they were winning 2-0 away in Helsinki. I'm sure they were fired up when at half-time they heard it was 0-0, but almost at the same point that England scored their goals, Greece scored their goals as well, as Bellingham now finds another pass out towards the right-hand side. Livramento back to Bowen on the edge of the box. Solanke in the area, back to Bowen, shoots again, blocked inside the area. Livramento and Bowen together. He looked like a man on a mission, I thought, when he came running onto the field, Jared Bowen, today. If ever there was an opportunity, if ever there was a player who was sniffing a goal in these set of circumstances, and he very promptly scored it with his first touch, as Hall on the other side, on the left-hand side, plays the ball into O'Shea, and it's behind for another England corner.
One thing I like about when England make substitutions, the players that come on, I think really do inject energy. I look at Bowen, Madueke when he's not starting, Solanke, all the players that are coming on, they've got the real bit between their teeth, wanting to prove something, and I think they do genuinely have an impact on the game, which is great from a coach's perspective.
Corner then, Bowen across to take this. Left-footed, it's a deep one to the edge of the penalty area, and firmly headed away by O'Shea. And England take up possession again on the halfway line. So 5-0 now to England. Here's little Angel Gomez. We're going to go back to the tennis again in a moment. But Bellingham feeds it to the left, and Morgan Rogers now taking on O'Shea. He got past him, and O'Shea stuck out a leg, brought down Rogers, who was getting away, and that's a yellow card as well for O'Shea.
That's all you need, when you've been down to 10 men and you've had 83 minutes and you've got more Rogers coming running at you, Matt. It's not good, is it?
It's not nice, and he didn't do a lot, did he? He was direct, Morgan Rogers, which is great about him, and he's physical. And O'Shea, who's had a tough game, like I say, he's been doing a lot of running, a lot of tracking back. He's then isolated because you're down to 10 men. The space around you's bigger, and he just has to haul him down. He can't cope with that kind of power of Rogers going past him. And then now it's a nice area for England just to the side of the 18-yard box to put another set piece in.
Yeah, we will be going to the tennis, but England with this set piece that is actually just tapped short, and Bellingham gets it back, and Bellingham drives it low into a crowd. It's blocked by Collins on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it bounces up in the air, and Kelleher is able to jump and claim it. Casey McAteer is also going to come on as another Irish change. And while Kelleher's got the ball, let's get an update from Russell Fuller from the Billie Jean King Cup.
3 breaks of serve in a row, John. 2 to Katie Bolter, 1 to Leila Fernandez. So Bolter leads 3-2 in this first set. Great Britain 1 up in this best-of-3 match quarter-final tie.
And Ireland getting a breather here as Hall comes across as it was being carried away downfield by Malumbian and arrives at the point where it was a 50-50 challenge and it bounces off the Irish midfielder and is out for a throw on the halfway line to England. And now Casey McAteer, the Leicester City youngster, will come on for his 4th cap, and Sammy Smodics, who we thought might have picked up an injury in the first half, but has been able to see it through to, what are we now, in the 86th minute.
Yeah, he looked like he was in a little bit of trouble in that first half, Smodics, and got his feet caught in the turf and then was feeling his knee, but he's managed to stay on and do his best for the role that he had today, which isn't ideal for his skill set. He's better up alongside Ferguson and being more adventurous and more attacking, but Ireland haven't had the ball and he's had to play a different role, so I'm surprised actually he's stayed on this long.
It's been a general election style recount, and it is 24 hat-tricks now for Erling Haaland for club and country. There's Jared Bowen now. Livramento takes it on into the area of flick. Kane could be in, but no, the block on the edge of the 6-yard area, and actually the referee has spotted an infringement, and it's a free kick to Ireland inside their own penalty area. Another thing as well, 5-0. I think this is England's record win against the Republic of Ireland. You go back to a 5-1 victory back in 1957 in a World Cup qualifier. So 5-0 trumps that. So a record win that England are on for, and Kane is in, and Kane with a low shot that's blocked by the legs of goalkeeper Kelleher. He was away from Collins, got the shot in on the left foot, but the goalkeeper made the save. Clinton.
Yeah, Bellingham's been brilliant in the second half. It's another great ball, good movement from Kane. He'll be disappointed because even though it's a good side from Kelleher, Harry Kane, 9 times out of 10, 1-on-1, he finds the bottom corner, but good goalkeeping.
Corner is taken short. Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa. Cross is deflected actually out to Bowen, who turns it back behind him to Livramento. England are in the mood for more goals here. They're not sitting on this by any means. They're really stretching this Irish side now. Bowen out there towards the right flank, and then he gets it back. Little touch out towards the right-hand side, and then in it comes. Deep ball. Rogers takes it down at the back post, beats the defender. Left-footed ball all the way across. Bowen with a chance, and that's kept out by Kelleher, who just flung his arms to his left and parried it away. And Ireland clear it, and then there's a yellow card for as Ireland tried to break away. I think it was Angel Gomez who put the challenge in. It was, and a yellow card for Angel Gomez.
I'll tell you, Morgan Rogers, he gets a chance to show his quality again there. It's absolutely superb. Clinton mentioned his pass for the own goal. The run from Bellingham out in Greece was superb, but what he just did there, ball comes to the back post, he kills it with his first touch in the air. Lovely shift of the body weight to throw the defender, then goes to the byline and then finds the cutback pass to Bowen. I mean, it was top stuff, Clint, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a top player, Rogers. He's got that in his locker.
As Ireland, long pass to the edge of the area, but there's a foul up there, and Harwood Ballas takes the free kick. Austria 1, Slovenia 1, so that changes things in Group B3. That will be Norway winning the group and winning promotion to the top division, and Austria finishing second. Lines open for 606, 08 085 909 693, after really a dazzling second half from Lee Carsley's England. And now a long pass from centre field that is kept in play and given to Harry Kane, and Kane's ball into the edge of the 6-yard box is caught by Kelleher. As Solanke arrived, Kelleher just dived forward and scooped the ball up. Ireland now move it away towards the halfway line and win a free kick. So 5-0 it is. The line's open for 606. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting to take your calls on 08085 909 693. Get in touch, hashtag BBC 606, text 85058. And there will be live NFL on Sports Extra tonight from 9 o'clock. The Buffalo Bills against Kansas City Chiefs. And Premier League next weekend resumes with some excellent looking games that are 5 Live commentaries. Arsenal, Nottingham Forest at 3 o'clock, Manchester City, Tottenham at 5:30 on Saturday. Next Sunday afternoon you'll hear Southampton, Liverpool, and Ruben Amorim's first match for Manchester United as their head coach at Portman Road against Ipswich. 5 Live, the place to hear it. 3 minutes of added time, and Ireland just allowing England to have possession in the central third. Yeah, Jude Bellingham. England stepped it up. Jude Bellingham stepped it up in the second half. Yeah, and here he is again through the middle. Bellingham using Harry Kane. Wasn't expecting Kane to play the whole match, but he is, as it's into him again inside the box. Kane, whose penalty got things underway. Rodgers then drives it across, and it's headed down and behind by Malumbi for another England corner. But Kane is actually coming across and saying, yeah, come on, to Rodgers, I'll take it short. And then Kane finds Gomez, and Gomez across to Bowen, who's got it on his right foot, drives it wide. Goodness me, caught that nicely.
He could have had a hat-trick, and Bowen's only been on the pitch a short time. He could have had a hat-trick. It was the cutback, he scored the goal, and that was a good opportunity on his weaker right foot. But yeah, he's made an impact, and that's what I always look at. Jarrod Bowen, it always looks like he's so excitable to be here, and he's going to take every chance when he's given. Yeah,
I mean, that coming off the bench, you can't ask for a better mentality or attitude than what he has. He's so, like you say, that keenness, that desperation to show I'm a good player, I want to impact the game, and he has done from coming on. And every time I see him come on off the bench, I think he plays in the same manner. I think it's a real quality that he has, Jarrod Bowen.
Ball out for a throw into Ireland. O'Shea looking for it, but Ireland, I have to say, have quite a bedraggled look about them. They've really been put through the ringer by England in the second half. But again, you know, I think we have to underline. I think you're going to say it.
Yeah. Well, when your game is on the cusp of, I say collapse, when you know that your game plan is that finely tuned, and then you go down to 10 men, it just falls apart. And that's exactly what's happened to Ireland. And you can understand why. It's so specific what they were doing, that everyone has to be in their role at the right time, and they were doing a great job. It's a shame we haven't got to see England break them down with 11 men, if I'm honest, John, because yes, Bellingham stepped in more and been, you know, like a Rolls Royce, all this, but the 10 men has allowed that to happen more, so it's a little bit of a false, you know, representation of the game, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a little run there from Finn Azaz of Middlesbrough, but that came to nothing. And we're just ticking down the seconds now. In fact, I make it that the 3 minutes of added time are up. Still plenty of supporters inside Wembley Stadium, even though many empty red seats have appeared. And there it is. The whistle goes, and that whistle marks a 5-0 win for England, a record win for England against the Republic of Ireland. And Lee Carsley bows out as interim head coach with a notable victory. He turns, there's an embrace between him and Ashley Cole. Next time England take the field, it'll be Thomas Tuchel who will be in charge, and England have finished the job in every sense under Lee Carsley. A fine win with the second half performance, and promotion for England back to the top tier of the Nations League.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant performance from England in that second half, because in the first half it was, and Ireland did well. I think that we spoke about it, and Matt did. The turning point in Scales is red card, the second yellow card, which we don't think it, but you still got to be ruthless, and that's what England were. It can be difficult playing against 10 men. You can make it hard, it can be difficult, but England showed their quality in the second half, in particular Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for Lee Carsley, if I'm honest. I think to sign off with this kind of victory, the game didn't really present as that up until that moment that Harry Kane produced and the red card, and then it all happened. But, you know, I think England breaking teams down at Wembley who play like Ireland has been tricky for a while. I'm glad that they've got that breakthrough and then finished with a really convincing win. I think that's a real positive. Treated the Wembley crowd to some goals, which is great. Some more debuts, some more first-time scorers. All of that is positivity that I think Lee Carsley's put into this period, and I'm just glad for him actually that he's finished in this way.
Yeah, you know, it's a funny thing. The squad that Lee Carsley ended up with for these two matches, the 23, only 4 players in that squad had actually scored for England. Now today, 4 players have scored their first goal for England on the same day. I'm not sure whether that'll have happened, or indeed when the last time that happened.
Got to be a first, isn't it?
That's got to be a first.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out in due course.
Scouring the record books, John. You'll be later.
I'm not sure. They're going to be queuing up to talk to us downstairs.
Yes, of course they will.
Anyway, there we go. Harry Kane with the penalty to get the ball rolling in the 53rd minute, and then it just kept coming for England with the goals from Gordon, Gallagher, Bowen and Harwood Bellis. England 5, Republic of Ireland 0 is the final score here at rainy Wembley. And Steve Crossman is just to my right here in the 5 Live commentary box.
And Lee Carsley is just out there on the pitch sharing a hug right now with Angel Gomez, one of the 8 players from the age group teams they've played under him that he has brought into this England team, and what an incredible impact they've had over the course of his short spell in charge. He's just walking now back towards us, hands behind his back as he always seems to be. Always sort of looks like he's trying to avoid giving away a penalty to VAR, Lee Carsley, when he's walking along. And he's having a chat now with Curtis Jones, who yet again showed exactly why Lee Carsley decided that it was the right time to give him his first England cap. Right, we'll talk much more about the England interim manager as he is/was. We'll talk about England's promotion. Nobody's ever been able to say that before. We'll get live reaction from the tunnel as well. We'll be with you until 6:06 starts here all the way through. So 08085 909 693. We'll also keep you up to date with any other important live sport, including what's going on in the tennis in Malaga, Russell Fuller.
Set point, Katie Bolter, who partly because of some real serving woes for Leila Fernandez is now a double break up in this first set. She leads by 5 games to 2. It's 40-30. Emma Raducanu has the first point of the quarter-final on the board for Great Britain. And can Bolter win the first set here? It's Leila Fernandez with a forehand into the net. Katie Bolter picking up where Emma Raducanu left off. What looked to be a very tight set, which saw 3 consecutive breaks of serve midway through, has swung decisively Bolter's way. She's taken it by 6 games to 2, and Great Britain are now 1 set away from the semi-finals of the World Cup of Tennis.
Lee Carsley here at Wembley Stadium is waving to the stands. I think he's probably waving to some family members just away to our left-hand side. Before that, he almost did a little sort of mini lap of Wembley Stadium, never too close to the touchlines, but he had a good walk around. Just sort of looked like he was drinking it all in one last time. And goodness me, the winds of international football change quickly. Last time he was here, that awful defeat to Greece and all of the fallout from it. Well, overall, I don't think anyone could have asked for more from Lee Carsley than he's given over the course of the last couple of months. 6:06 on the way in just over half an hour's time with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Let's have a quick word with Rob. What do you make of that?
Oh, game of 2 halves, Steve, wasn't it? I'm sure there was lots of people saying, should Harry Kane start for England? Should Ollie Watkins come onto the park? But Harry Kane in that second half, that pass to open up that Ireland defence, which led to the penalty, was absolutely sensational. That's the droppy when Harry Kane drops into, positions outside the number 9. It was a wonderful pass. He got his goal. Magnificent second half from England. So many different goal scorers. So it's been a positive campaign for Lee Carsley. Going back probably now to the 21s. He's done really, really well. He experimented against Greece at home, trying to get all the creative players in. It didn't work. But overall, he's done brilliantly well for England. But the big question is, and I'm sure Chris talked to you, Steve, at half-time, England were boring that first half, but they got the job done. Harry Kane, I think he proved once again the doubters wrong.
And it's perfectly timed, Robbie, because the applause in the background are for the England captain, Harry Kane, as he disappears down the tunnel in front of us. Thanks, Rob. Have a good one.
Cheers, mate.
08085 909 693. You can get your calls in right now. Here at Wembley Stadium, England have beaten the Republic of Ireland by 5-0. 5 different scorers. Harry Kane from the penalty spot, Anthony Gordon, Conor Gallagher, Jared Bowen, his first England goal, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis off the bench, the 8th player that Lee Carsley has given a debut to score his first goal. We've got correspondent John Murray, Ian Dennis, Matt Upson, Clinton Morrison, all with us here. Gary Flintoff will hopefully be gathering us some live reaction as well downstairs, and we'll bring that to you over the course of the next half hour or so. Ian, let's start with this. England have been promoted. What a sentence.
Well, yeah. The other good thing is that not only do they get promoted back to the elite level in terms of the Nations League, but should things go awry in the World Cup qualifying campaign, it means that then, as a group winner, you've then got a second opportunity almost as a backup regarding the World Cup qualification. So that was the significance of finishing top of the group. Obviously a frustrating first half, but moment of quality from Harry Kane, unlocked the Irish defence, and then it quickly unravelled, didn't it, for Ireland, with Scales being sent off and England scoring 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes. And then you had those first goals, and incidentally John posed the question, and thanks to Opta for providing the clarification for this. You've had 4 players scoring their first goals for England in one game. Had it ever happened before? The last time it happened was 1930.
Wow.
Against Northern Ireland.
Now that is a statistic.
You've got to credit the guys.
That's what they do.
Yeah, the experts at Opta Joe. Yeah,
you might say. Matt, I tell you what. Let's do the sort of game that we've just watched before we do all of the stuff that comes out of it, because there's so much to talk about and fit in of what we've seen tonight might mean further on. But clearly the penalty is a big moment. Scales gets his second yellow. And I know in commentary you were all saying, and I agree with you, that it's a harsh second yellow. But that's why the first yellow for delaying the restart is so stupid, isn't it? That's the point of that being such a stupid booking, that you're then at the risk of something like that.
I agree. You expose yourself to that decision.
Yeah, that's the word.
And we see it time and time again where it comes back to bite you. And it was a silly, Clint mentioned it, it was a silly decision to try and delay the restart in an area of the pitch that it made no difference whatsoever. Sometimes that's just an instinct as a player. So you're not even thinking, you just do. And he's not thought it through, had a reaction, but to still pay that price, I still think is harsh. I agree, you expose yourself to that, but some referees will give that.
I was on a PGMOL briefing just a matter of weeks ago, and there was an incident at Bournemouth against Arsenal. And if there's an attempt to play the ball and it's not the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, it's a penalty only and no yellow card. However, if it's the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, it is a yellow card.
He doesn't have a choice.
And you'd have to say, in that respect, by the letter of the law, the Belgian referee, Bellingham's in on goal.
Yeah.
But isn't that a red card if it's the denying of a goal-scoring opportunity and he's not trying to play the ball?
But it was an attempt to play the ball.
So we're saying it was an attempt to play the ball.
It's an attempt to play the ball, but because it was the denial of a goal-scoring opportunity,
I see.
It was the correct decision to show a yellow card.
It's just hard to see. When he cuts inside, there's recovering players as well, and I know he's going to cut inside. Does O'Dowda? He's in really close contact when you look at the replay. And he's recovering because Bellingham's coming inside the pitch with his touch. OK, Scales makes the foul, but I think it's O'Dowda recovering the left back into that area as well. And I think he's pretty close. Now, whether or not Bellingham would have got the shot off, it's open to interpretation. Is that a goal? Some would say that that's a definite goal-scoring opportunity, and therefore that's the letter of the law. It's got to get the card out. It's just hard to watch, how the game unravels after over something like that you go down to a goal and you get the red card when Ireland have depended so heavily on the system to hold England at bay. It just then caved, didn't it? And that was the end of it, really, Steve. That moment there just finished the game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what isn't necessarily clinted open to interpretation is that there is a way to play with 10 men, and that wasn't it.
No, nowhere near good enough for Ireland. Listen, it's hard. You're playing against a quality England team, but you've got to make it difficult. And it's not like they're getting cut open apart. It's sometimes when Bellingham, I know it's an outstanding ball, but Harvard Bellis, he has a free header. He's in the 6-yard box. One of my centre halves I want. Some of the other goals are fantastic goals, but it's another set piece. Even Gallagher's one. Mark Gay just runs across, flicks it, back post, he's got a tap in. So I think them sort of goals, they'll be disappointed, and it's just coming there in the manner, the way they lost it, won't be happy with it. The fans won't be happy. I know the players will be hurting in there, but we're going to go back to it, obviously, with the scale situation. But Deno's right. If that is the letter of the law, then the referee has to make that decision, and you have to just get on with it. But they'll be disappointed the way they conceded the goals after going down to 10 men.
I think they struggled a bit with the corners, Clint, didn't they?
They did.
Ireland. And even in the first half, Kyle Walker won that first, similar to the flick on that Gearhey won the first ball, and then again he won another one towards the back post where he didn't quite get the contact but should be heading it goalward. So for all their hard work and organisation, it's the corners into the box where you kind of can really pick that hole in Ireland and say, well, that's got to improve. If they're going to set up like that in big games, whether it's World Cup qualifiers against teams that might be a bit superior in terms of having the ball, you'd feel that that's a big area coming away from this game, that they've got the quality of players to be better at it, because it's organisation and its desire to go and head the ball. But that for me was a weakness in Ireland, when there was a lot of other strengths in how they set up defensively today.
We'll talk about plenty of individual players over the course of the next half hour, and perhaps we'll hear from some of the key individuals shortly as well, and we'll hear from the England manager Lee Carsley as well. And I sort of feel like, Ian, we have to start with him. I mean, there was no better way for him to wrap this up than what we've just seen.
Yeah, when you were describing him coming off the field of play, I was watching him. He was almost the last member of the coaching staff, the last sort of like representative of England off the field of play. He was waving clearly to his family here in the main stand, and like Matt was saying as well, really pleased for him. I think it's never been about him. He's got no ego in that respect, and what he's done is given a lot of options now to Thomas Tuchel coming in. I've been quite clear. I always think that Thomas Tuchel should have been involved. I don't think it's right that Thomas Tuchel waits till January to take charge of the England job. But that's by the by. Since Gareth Southgate departed, Lee Carsley has achieved what his number one mission was, and that to get England promoted in the Nations League competition. The plus point is that he's used something like 31 players. He's handed out 8 debuts. He's increased the pool size for Thomas Tuchel in terms of options of playing personnel. And I just think the manner of the victory he'll be thrilled for him, Jolyon Lescott and Ashley Cole, his 2 assistants.
I think it'd be easy to look at these. I mean, really, it's a luxury. You're getting 3 camps in the space of 4 months and 6 games. I mean, in an ideal world, that's a great development moment. You're never going to get better exposure to the players on that regular basis. It's very rare. But you could look at it and say, well, Tuchel hasn't been here to oversee it. It's wasted time going into a World Cup, and not a lot of time, not a lot of games left, not another one till March. It's a long time. But I don't think it has been wasted at all. And I think Lee Carsley, in the way that he's showed the players and made those decisions and what's worked and what hasn't, I think you can take a lot of information from those 6 games. As an arriving coach, you can study the videos, you can speak to Lee Carsley about how he felt things went. And I think he mentioned that handover. That's going to be important, because there's a lot of information there, isn't there, on new players and systems and what worked, what didn't, how it felt, what it looked like in training, how was the group. All of that detail is going to pass on to Thomas Tuchel. I think that's an important part of it.
And the other thing as well, Steve, is that he actually, if you think back to this set of games and the previous set of games, he actually hasn't had much game time, because England in both October and November were playing the first set of matches of the allocated days. So therefore now, I mean, England have had a quick turnaround from Athens, just as they did previously. He won't have had as much training time, preparation time on the training.
It's a shorter camp,
yes,
isn't it?
It is, yeah, in that respect.